Keeler Show today. It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen?
Keeler's always in the know.
It makes me want to call him
And tell him where to go.
And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started.
It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
Celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Okay, we have a lot to get to today, so I can't screw around. In studio this morning, Jeff Manaski will be in this morning. Beth Irons is in this morning.
Good morning.
And Davey is here. Holy crap, I can't believe it. We have a full house.
Is Davey ever not here?
Actually, I got to tell
No,
you.
he's shaking his head.
He is...
He's got a cot in the back room.
He
slides it underneath his desk in there in production.
You're right. He's always here.
But you know, every good business has that person who is just even if they're not physically here, their presence is here.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that is true with our man.
He's working on
Davey.
haunting.
Yeah, but if I'm not here, you can't be here either because it'd be hard
And
for us to do the
there
show.
lies the control.
Right. I mean, there's so much to do here. Right. Davey
Oh, yeah.
knows it. Davey knows it. And he also knows that when he forces us to take a day off, which I never argue with, why am I getting feedback out of my headphones today? When he forces me to take that day off, he knows I'll be the one yelled at by Richard. So, not you, Davey.
Right.
Yankees win. Yankees win. How does he do it? Yankees win.
Yankees win. He
Whatever.
doesn't do it ananymore. It's Dave Sims
Oh,
is the
okay.
new one.
And the Mets win. The Mets started out early with like 3 home runs in the first inning or something. I was unable to see the game because I've been watching this Asian guy go nuts on Jeopardy. I swear to God, I feel like I'm getting old or something.
Yeah, if you're in the game show.
It's clearly the word is monopoly. What is wrong with you? And I don't even like Ryan Seacrest. Why am I watching this? Yeah. If you're there in that hour.
Nope.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah.
I am not.
I unfortunately
I don't
have
watch
been
game
following this
shows
kid.
and I don't watch stories.
Stories.
My mom used
Stories
to
as
call
in
watching her stories during the
stories. Can't miss my stories.
Pretty routinely now, our TV doesn't even come on until it's time for the evening news.
I got to tell you, I don't think the stories even are on. Davey would be our resident expert on that this morning. Are the stories still on? Who's doing what? NBC is done with them.
Yeah, they're streaming.
Oh, really?
They're streaming
stream
their Days of Our Lives on Peacock.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is Mac and Rachel and Bo, are they all still part of that show?
Bo and Hope were on for a little while.
Bo and Hope, right.
Yeah, but now they're gone.
Yeah.
But they were on the Return to Salem.
They were not on for a little while. They were on when I was a kid. Like, I would stay home sick from school, and Bo and Hope, will they get married? Will they not? I don't know.
Who's cheating on who?
Mac might kill them
Who really
before
is
they
the
get
father
married.
of that new child?
That's right.
So
yeah.
Rachel, too, right? Rachel and Mac.
So basically, the only soap operas are on CBS. It's from 12:30 to 3,
Okay.
and then from 2 to 3 is General Hospital. Is on
It's
ABC.
such a different world today, too.
The big one when I was in college actually was General Hospital. I actually had a college professor who dismissed the class early so we could all go back to our dorms and watch
wild.
General Hospital.
I just feel like the world has changed so much now where there are so fewer women at home. I mean, many women work today.
Well, and if you want to watch unnecessary drama, just turn on a news station.
Yeah.
Well,
That is true. I mean, why? How can you beat it with the current
nothing beats
political
reality.
climate? Davey, like it does end up being retired women, like your mom.
well, my mom is retired, and
Did you tell her you had chocolate chip cookies here yesterday and you never offered one to me?
there was no chocolate chip cookies here yesterday.
Did you tell her you had chocolate chip cookies here on Monday and you never
Uh-oh.
offered one to me?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, from 12:30 to 2 every day, the soap opera.
So anyway, it's the soap opera world. We have a lot to get into, and Beth, you are right with the soap operas of today. How do they
Yeah.
compete with? And the other
With
thing, that's-
anything.
you know, the other thing that's happened about soap operas is they've really tried to really become very steamy, and also, you know, you wouldn't have. I don't think you'd have anybody in the 70s when the soap operas were on who was gay on the
Oh,
on the program.
heavens no.
Now it's it is
Routine.
It's routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I believe the first gay kiss might have happened on a soap opera.
Well, I remember the first, they made a big deal about it when Ellen DeGeneres had her comedy
is
ad,
true.
and she was going to
Yeah.
do the first lesbian kiss on air.
I remember when she did the interview. I forgot. Maybe it was with Letterman or whoever she did. Maybe Leno, whatever.
I don't know who
And
was.
she said, I'm here to announce it is true. I am Lebanese," which I thought was funny. A bunch of stuff to get to today. Ryan Schmel's coming up in a second. We'll talk to Ray Stachik on this run of weather we're dealing with. And I just have not had time to water my lawn. Can you believe it? We're growing grass in a certain part of our lawn. And I've just not been, and nothing is growing.
No.
Although the dew is very heavy at night.
Yeah, and there's a lot
Yeah.
of fog in the morning.
A lot of fog. Yeah.
So there's moisture.
So there is moisture, so maybe we'll be okay. We'll see. But I have to say, it is shocking. This is you can't even call this Florida weather because it rains every day in Florida.
Yeah.
This is something that you'd get out in the West, where it just doesn't rain for days and days and days.
We're mowing the lawn every other week at this point, and it's always because we have a leach field at our house. So you have the patches of grass that do get green
yeah,
and grow.
my parents do as well. Yeah.
But the rest of it is like straw.
I saw yesterday, I was reading yesterday that the sun is now more active than it's been in decades. And I probably am not the only one that read that story and was like, well, what the hell does that mean?
I know. Well, and the
Right?
thing is, the activity that we're seeing is, okay, how many millions of years old is this activity? Because it had to
That's
travel
true.
all that
And
distance.
they say it does usually go in like 12-year cycles. But right now it's very active, which means apparently there could be more space storms. So if you're traveling to space anytime soon, maybe for a vacation
I got to
coming up,
reschedule again?
you might have to reschedule because unpredicted space storms could be happening.
See, now I got to call Elon when I get off the air with you.
Because of the active sun. And the other thing they're saying is that it could actually cause some outages here on Earth when it comes to internet, television, that sort of
yeah,
thing.
because it
Sunspots
messes with
and-
the magnetic field.
Yeah. Ray Stachik will speak with him on this incredible weather. And it's funny, I got into the car this morning, and with the new update on Apple that also updates CarPlay, and it comes to kind of like a welcome to the morning screen when you first get in your car. And it said 30% chance of rain in 5 days. So, although I think
that's a teaser.
it may be a little cloudier than sunny today, but again, we're going to be back
Apparently no rain.
back up near 80 degrees. Crazy. Senate Judiciary Oversight hearing held the FBI investigation, or the FBI hearing yesterday. Director Patel was on the hot seat, and boy, was this was like screaming insults. This is why, how could anybody watch soap operas today when all you got to do is turn on a congressional hearing? On the line right now to walk us through it is Ryan Schmelz from Fox News Radio. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
This was like heated, and they were all yelling and screaming back at each other. Wow. Not the type of, this is not your grandfather's congressional hearing, I'll tell you that.
No, it was what people say, poop show.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
a Ron Burgundy, that escalated quickly situation.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I might add that clip to a promo, Ryan, but that was really good. But you're right. It was a blank show. And so did we get anything out? Did anything come out of this other than a lot of grandstanding and yelling and screaming?
Oh, I think we learned a lot about the Charlie Kirk investigation.
Yeah,
There's
that's true.
definitely more information learned about that. We learned that there was a group chat on Discord that the suspected shooter was involved in, and that there were over 20 users apparently who were using that app, and that there could be, in fact, other suspects too that could be investigated by law enforcement. So
Yeah.
I think there were definitely developments made there in terms of information.
I had somebody yesterday screaming at me about the whole thing, saying they're not mentioning the Fuentes connection. There's a Fuentes connection, and Fuentes is is that far right guy who didn't get along with Charlie Kirk, right? There was some back and forth between the two of them.
Nick Fuentes is a white nationalist who criticized J.D. Vance for having an Indian wife.
Yes.
Has made some other controversial comments like that. So yeah, I mean he's a pretty prominent white nationalist.
But I don't know that there's any evidence. That's because they're hiding it. I don't know that there's any evidence out there to connect that, and certainly if there is, the FBI
I
is not talking
haven't
about
seen
it.
anything that indicates that he has committed any crime in this situation.
And then the other part that they got into is the fact that they're calling liberals, they're calling it hate speech, and they say they're going to be, Pam Bondi saying, they're going to be going after those who are engaging in hate speech. And as President Trump said before he got on the plane the other day, was it yesterday? And that might be you, Mr. ABC reporter. So this was very partisan, although I do think Republicans are not necessarily pleased with the way Patel handled this Kirk investigation, especially announcing twice that they had a candidate or a suspect in custody, and turned out to be the wrong guy.
Is that a Freudian slip?
Did I say candidate?
Yeah.
I guess I kind of did. Did I lose you, Ryan? Are you still there?
I'm still here. Yeah. No. I mean, we had some pretty, ganging reporting that came out going into this hearing by some of our White House crew about just some of the tension that had been building within the Trump administration among Kash Patel, and how he's kind of been on the hot seat in many ways over his leadership, especially how he handled the Charlie Kirk situation. So, he was kind of under the microscope going into this, and Patel, whether or not he won his job or maybe the doubts surrounding him got worse yesterday, we don't know that just yet. But, Kash Patel certainly is one of the members of the Trump administration who's heavily under the microscope as of right now.
All very interested. And again, I go back to, why would you want to watch any television when you have that drama going on? And it really was quite intense at times yesterday. So, and then of course the president heading off to, we're in London, and I'm assuming we'll see news that comes out of there as well. So a lot happening. And of course, this government shutdown looming in the near distance. So,
we got the bill yesterday.
Yeah, now the president is saying to lock Democrats out. Do you see any negotiation that could get anywhere, or are we likely to go with a short-term extension?
Well, the president can't. He can say that, but you can't do that. You need 60 votes in the Senate. So they're going to have Democrats involved in some way, unless they find 8 or so Democrats who are just willing to vote for the bill.
Yeah.
That's the only way they can get out of this, because the reality is, if somebody like Rand Paul is going to be a no, well, now you're going to need what? That would mean they would need 8 Democrats to vote for it in order to break the filibuster.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if they can actually find them, but it's going to be hard for them to do so. This is not an easy situation. So, unless they negotiate something, it's going to be very hard to avoid a shutdown, or at least get every Republican on board.
And by the way, a very interesting interview on Kilmeade yesterday with Jill Manchin. I thought that was a very interesting interview that he had yesterday. All right, Ryan, good stuff. We appreciate it as always. Have a wonderful day.
Hey, you too, my friend. Thank you.
All right, Ryan Schmelz with Fox News Radio. Quick update on the news here. It's Wednesday morning. By the way, speaking of Ryans, Ryan Nobles will get him at around 8:40 this morning. The DA, Todd Carville, is on, Oneida County District Attorney. I don't know if there's much that we're going to get on the Caitlin Connolly, Judge Clark issue, but the DA is on, and tomorrow we will have the attorney for Caitlin Connolly. And again, all of this with really no charges right now against Caitlin Connolly. She is free to go, or already gone, I guess, from earlier. Lieutenant Mike Curley also. We got some big stuff here, Davey. You booked some heavyweight stuff here today. Lieutenant Mike Curley today on the Oneida Square arrest where 5 people were arrested. They spotted a gun in a vehicle. I mean, this is the type of police work these guys and women are doing every single day in Utica and Rome, and really throughout. We'll have Mike Curley on, and also regarding the vandalism up at Valley View, and which is a really crazy story that we'll get into a little further here later this morning. WIBX Free Money Question of the Day. Roseanne Leparco, why are your plants dying? She's going to be all over it, from the Cornell Cooperative Extension. And Jeremy Rosenthal from the Rosenthal Report coming up as well. And the man with the plan. I like that jersey.
Oh, yeah. I'm feeling
the Mets won.
I'm feeling the team spirit today.
Two in a row.
I know. Don't call it a streak.
Yeah, I guess you can't. Anyway, lots to do. Hold tight at WIBX.
Here's the latest from the WIBX newsroom. I'm Doug Callum. New York State Police say a 38-year-old Westernville man was shot Monday night after threatening another man and his family during a fight in Oneida County. According to troopers, around 7:40 p.m., they responded to a report of a domestic dispute with shots fired on Main Street, and the 38-year-old man went into the home of the 48-year-old man, where an altercation broke out, according to troopers. During the fight, the victim threatened the man and his family. The 43-year-old then fired multiple rounds from a gunshot from a shotgun loaded with birdshot. The victim was taken to Wynn Hospital in Utica for non-life-threatening injuries. No names released. If you have information on the incident, police ask you to contact them or Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers. Police investigated an altercation from Friday on Oneida Square and ultimately have arrested 5 local men, 4 from Utica, 1 from the village of Mohawk, all on criminal charges of possession of a weapon. Police say none of the 5 men would admit to ownership of an illegal gun in their possession, so all 5 were charged. The full story, with photos and names, is available on our news site at WIBX950.com. Police in Norwich have arrested a 27-year-old man from Ohio who attempted to register and enroll in high school there. Police say Jaira Alexander seems suspicious, according to school officials. No students were injured. The man was also wanted in Ohio on robbery charges and for allegedly impersonating an officer. That is the latest. I'm Doug Callan for WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Still blocked, meaning not much changing. This weather pattern is going to stay pretty stagnant. Might get a front to come through with limited fanfare late week. Going to cool temperatures off quite a bit. Partial sun with clouds this morning and this afternoon. Could get into the upper 70s. Tonight in the mid-50s. North Country cooler. Thursday sunny 80. Friday sunshine and cooler. High only 70. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Currently, we have cloudy skies and 54 at WIBX. A lot to get to, and that includes Ray Stajic on the weather. We'll get him live coming right up here at WIBX.
Are you sick of being just a number or doing a mindless job? Become a craftsman in a trade. Become an IBEW electrician. The IBEW and the Electrician Training Alliance will give you all the tools necessary at their state-of-the-art training facility. Earn as you learn. Paid training while you get your certification. What are you waiting for? Become an IBEW Local 43 electrician. Call or go online today to learn more. Find your career at IBEW and let the Electrician Training Alliance light up your future.
Hey, it's Polly from Big Frog 104 with the perfect solution for your manufactured or mobile home problems. John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories in Oriskany Falls. If you've had issues with your furnace, now is the time to think about replacing it. Don't wait until next winter. Your skirting around the home could have taken a little beating. John has skirting too. With energy costs continuing to rise and no relief in sight, you need to make sure your mobile or manufactured home is energy efficient. John has new doors and windows in stock as well. Find it all at johnsmobilehomepartsandaccessories.com.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion? That's billion with a B? Yeah. Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words Micro. That's pound 250, Micro.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure of
1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Well, yesterday I called into a one of those TV cooking shows, believe it or not.
Oh, which one?
I don't even know which one it was, but I was asking. It was on the Food Network, and my question was, I was asking. You could call in, and it was like, ask the chef.
Yeah.
And my question was, what is the best way to poach an egg? Because there are little hacks you can do and little tricks.
My answer would be let somebody else do it.
That's a good way to do it. This is what the chef had to say about poaching an egg. Here we go. Oh, are you kidding me? This isn't going to play. This is my life. This is my life. I'll play it in a second.
No wonder you can't poach an egg, Bill.
Well, the funny thing is let's see. Will it? No. It's telling me, please restart your computer again.
Oh, no.
What in the hell is going on here? Well, you're the one that installed the new Apple software. That's your own fault.
There you go, Bill.
That's what it just told me.
Everything's working completely differently, as you said.
Oh, it's just so I normally will try to just do like a phone and a laptop, but I went all in. And yesterday spent most of my day trying to figure out what in the hell am I doing now. Just terrible. All sorts of changes, but I do like the changes. We'll talk about that coming up in a bit. I also do like the changes in the weather. I mean, personally, I love it. This is just shocking, the amount of rain we haven't had.
Yeah. And
the fact that we're in the upper 70s and low 80s every day. It's unbelievable. Let me bring in Ray Stajic, who's on the line right now. It's really quite shocking to me. Good morning, Ray. Yeah. This is unheard of for us.
Is it, though?
Yeah.
It is. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, it's about mid-70s where we should be this time of year for daytime highs, 50s at night. We've been above that. We're going to spend a couple of days up there closer to 80 degrees and then some change as we look ahead toward late weekend, the weekend. But, the problem is we're stuck, right? Yeah. We're all bottled up. It's called an omega block. So there's a block in the atmosphere. Basically what that means is nothing's really moving. And that's not only kept us dry for the most part the last several weeks, but also mild. Last week's drought monitors showing some low levels of drought, but in through parts of New England, through New Hampshire, and into the White and Green Mountains as you get up into Vermont, and then also into Maine, we've got some higher levels of drought starting to come in. So it's been abnormally dry. Don't see a lot of change over the next 5 to 7 days. Dry, and I guess, pleasant weather. The cool nights will help with the fall color change. Sunny days will also help with that, but no rain in sight.
Well, and as Jeff asks here, is it really? I mean, because there's no doubt.
I don't mean the lack of rain. I was talking more about the temperature.
We have had 80-degree temperatures that pop in September, and we've had really nice weather, a streak of it in October. But it's short-lived, and but nothing like this. Never where you look at the forecast and you see, especially today with the icons, right? You look on your phone and you see sun, like 14 days out. And then just the no rain in September feels extremely abnormal.
Yeah, it is. Fall can traditionally be known to be a little bit wetter, but again, some of it's probably just plain good luck or bad luck, any way you want to look at it, where you get these blocking patterns. The high actually sitting out over north of the Great Lakes, as we had said, it really hadn't been going anywhere. There will be a front coming in. That's going to be this weekend, so we may cool off a bit, maybe seeing some 40-degree temperatures in and around town by Saturday morning, which means easily into the 30s and some frost into the Adirondacks. But warming up next week, if you were looking at some of those icons next week, by about Tuesday, we could get back into the middle 80s. Now,
mid-80s.
That sounds very bad. And so the first thing I say to myself is, we get into the mid-80s in late September. The records are probably at or above 90 degrees. So we even had 90-degree days in the month of September. But I'm right with you, Bill. I don't think it's as much as how warm it has gotten on these days. It's how long it has lasted and how long the dry weather has lasted, too. I mean, this is going to be a continued problem, not only for drought, but also for, we're getting into that time of year where, once the leaves hit the ground, people are going to want to start cleaning up and burning leaves. The burn problems and the dryness, that's all going to become a problem, too. I didn't check, and I apologize. I don't think there's any burn bans across
I don't think so.
Valley.
No, I
haven't heard of
I don't
any.
think there are, but we stay in this type of pattern. We could see something like that starting to pop up here soon.
One of the, and by the way, I'm a nut when it comes to weather because I have a little kiddie pool in the back yard, and which is nice because only a foot of water warms up pretty quickly. But I just get so disappointed in September because I'm like, can't we stretch out another month of keeping the pool open? And the one problem you do have with if you have a pool is it's 80 degrees or 78 degrees in the daytime, but nights really cool off that, and you can see the heat just kind of rising, or the money rising from your pool in the middle of the night.
And usually, whether you're in it or not, you still got to feed it and clean it, run the filter.
Ours is saltwater, so I open it.
Yeah,
and it does pretty well. But the other thing that's very interesting is with those cool temperatures at night, the dew is really heavy, which kind of is helping a little bit with the lack of rain.
Yeah, it does. It's the warmer ground, and with the cooler air coming in, you kind of get some condensation, especially out over the lakes and out over the water, and even a little fog in spots. But, you don't get enough, right? You always say, well, there's a little dew, so there's a little moisture, and you throw the wipers on, right, to clean the dew off the window, and you're done after one swipe. But, I'm trying to look ahead and get even beyond the next 7 to 10 days. Let's try to go out into fantasy land is what I call it. The next chance of maybe appreciable rainfall, maybe late next week. But what us meteorologists do, Bill, and maybe you as a weather enthusiast, I'm going to give you a little bit of the kind of the meteorologists speak. This time of year, we look for what we call the 540 decameter thickness.
Okay.
Right. So and that's basically the rain snow line, and it's a little blue line that shows up on some of our forecast maps that we say, hey, you know what? When we start seeing that in southern Canada, that's a sign of maybe some colder air. I'm going now looking way out, even into early October with the American model. It goes out 16 days, and I don't even see that 540 thickness getting into the lower 48, maybe northern Maine. So I think we're staying at or maybe even above average in terms of temperatures and below average in terms of precipitation for the rest of the month. The next chance of any appreciable rain may be late in the week, next week. But other than that, I see a lot of dry and I see a lot of mild.
Bring this forecast back for the winter.
Yeah.
Warm
right,
and dry.
I have one more question for you, and I'm glad you brought up the winter. Was it the La Nina they said we're going to be moving into or whatever? What could that mean? And I know you're very, very careful when it comes to long-term predictions, but what could that mean for the winter?
All right. So on average in a La Nina winter, it's at or slightly above average temperatures in the Northeast for the most part, and then near normal or maybe even slightly above normal in terms of precipitation. Depends on where you are. So if you take the Northeast quadrant of the U.S., that's basically what I mean. And it's climatology.
Yeah.
Why I get into this, here's a perfect example. The hurricane season forecast back in the spring was for an above average season, and right now we're trending below average. So remember, with this seasonal forecasting, it's basically an estimate on what typically happens. So this is what typically happens in a La Nina winter. Normally it leads to maybe more northeast coast snowstorms. And again, below average precipitation and above average temperatures still doesn't mean it can't snow and can't snow a lot. So if that's what people are worried about, that's what it actually means.
Well, it is interesting, too, because you may get that 28-degree snow or even warmer than that, which can be really devastating with heavy, wet snow.
Yep.
So you just don't know. All right, very interesting, and it's so good. I know it's been a while, but I just want to tell you, it's so good to have you back, Ray. We love being able to chat.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Well,
Can I squeeze in one more, Ray? Can I squeeze in one more? Just to follow up on that
You're never
point.
going to get off the air with us.
I've heard people say before, and when it's warmer, when it's warmer than normal as it extends into the fall, that it takes longer in the winter for the lakes, etc., to cool and then freeze, and that temperature rising off the water bodies impacts the snow accumulation we get in the Northeast. Is that accurate?
Yes. I mean, obviously, the longer it takes it can be accurate because the longer it takes, and it's not just water temperatures. The longer it takes for the lakes to freeze, especially Ontario, which is a deeper lake, obviously the longer you'd have lake effect. But remember, it's not just the lake temperatures. You got to have the right wind flow. You got to have the other atmospheric conditions in place. You can have above average water temperatures and the lakes may never freeze, and you may not have the proper wind direction, and you get very little, if any, lake snow. That probably isn't likely, but sometimes that's how it goes.
All right, Ray, we really appreciate it. Have a wonderful week, rest of the week.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks so much. Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel.
In exchange for us having to deal with the Canadian wildfire smoke, how about the wind blows back that way when we get the snowstorms, and they can deal with that stuff.
All that lake effect snow puts out the fires.
Blow it, a couple of comments here. Wayne says, what does Richard think about your weatherman, Ray Stajic? And does Richard have that 540 blue line on his model? I don't know. Oh, and listen, Richard, you're getting all the attention. Mike, wow, Ray almost sounds as smart about the weather as Richard does. So did I tell you that I called into a food cooking show yesterday?
Yeah, you were keeping us hanging.
And it's an Ask the Chef deal. And I asked the chef, what is the best way to poach an egg? And this is what he said.
The medium rare on one side, we have 4 medium rare. 4 medium rare.
Wait, what do you say? Medium rare or medium well?
Medium rare.
All right, that's.
So I don't know. I'm still feeling like I'm dangling.
You didn't get it? You didn't.
No,
the medium rare on one side, we have 4 medium rare. 4 medium rare.
Wait, what do you say? Medium rare or medium well?
Medium rare.
Even the guy didn't get it.
He's talking about eggs?
Apparently, medium rare eggs. I don't know. I have no idea.
The medium rare on one side, we have 4 medium rare. 4 medium rare.
Wow. If I cut into an egg and it's got any kind of a rare attitude about it, a mistake was made a long time ago.
Chef, what I'm asking is, how do you poach an egg?
Medium rare on one side, we have 4 medium rare. 4 medium.
Wow. Wait, what is?
Oh boy, sorry. Well, sometimes I come in drunk and amuse myself.
Apparently. Do you poach eggs when you cook them?
Every once in a while, we'll poach. I mean,
isn't that one of the tricks? Is swirling the water?
Add a little vinegar, right? A little,
I didn't know that.
Little touch of vinegar. I've seen, and I like your dad's a chef, so you probably know.
You want to know? I'll call him right now.
You should.
Hold on.
What's
Is it
the
medium
best?
well?
Speaking of that, this kid on Jeopardy has won now like 130. I think he's won 5 in a row, and he's won like $140,000. And when you watch him go, all of a sudden he is American, but he's Asian American, it's unbelievable to watch him like clear out the board. At one point yesterday, yes, I'm getting old. We talked about this, Beth, earlier. Apparently, old enough to watch Wheel and Jeopardy.
Yeah.
But at one point yesterday, they were going through the 3 of them, and he was way ahead. They were going through. They hadn't got an answer wrong almost through the entire game. Now, you know what's interesting about that? I hadn't got an answer right through all of that.
You've answered every one, but not gotten
every
one right.
single one, but not one could I get right.
I unfortunately fall into the habit of when I do watch that program, I just shout out an answer every time. So if I'm watching it with someone else, I can be very annoying to them.
Can I say the trick to sometimes, and Jeopardy people will, the contestants will do this as well, but what you learn on Jeopardy, because I'm usually competing with my wife, and she normally does very well. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And I'll throw out an answer because there's a hint in there. They'll throw out a hint and you throw out a guess. And every once in a while you get this guess and it's right. And my wife will be like, wow. And I'm like, yeah, I knew that one. Not really. Not really. I totally threw out a guess. But it's how you play it. You have to play it with all confidence.
I made an observation watching, what's the other one?
Wheel.
Yeah. Which is now hosted by the guy
Seacrest, right?
Ryan Seacrest, who does every show for a while.
They're just, even when she passes, they're just going to stuff her and mechanize her.
She's so thin.
So she's just going to walk on all the time.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that, Bill, because that's where I was going. First of all, I didn't realize he was the host, so it kind of caught me off guard. We're all aging. I'm not criticizing him, but to me, he has this modern day Mr. Rogers look to him, because he's at least he was it Monday
Something
night?
Something is weird. Like if you think she's thin,
that's what I was
thinner.
going.
And
he is so skinny. The two of them ended the show, and not only does she have broader shoulders than him, but you can see she's very thin.
Yeah.
Is thicker than him. Her bone density
at one
is
point,
thicker than him.
At one point, one of the guys was like, yeah, my brother's in the audience. He plays football for Texas Tech. And Ryan Seacrest put his arms out and said, I'm ready to make a tackle. And I'm like, no, you're not. You would be mincemeat. For God's sakes, it looks like a child. And the other part is, because he's probably somewhere between your age and my age, whatever he's done to keep his weight down.
Yeah.
Like my wife was like, I think he's got a problem. Like
I could
really
not believe how
thin.
much smaller he was.
Yeah.
And I
abnormally
think Vanna
thin.
White is thin, petite.
And you can see how thin he is by looking at his skull.
Yes.
You can literally see his skull through his skin.
And someone with a very big head, I'm an expert on this.
Right.
Her head is bigger than his head.
Yeah.
He's so petite.
And then they have little stools that he steps up on to make it look like because he's quite short. I think he's probably my size.
They did a bad job of it, or he wasn't on the stool, because that was another. I'm like, she's taller than him too.
Yeah.
Well, and you also got to think that they're both in an industry where your looks is 80% of why you're on TV, and as you age, the fight against that is more and more malicious. I mean, look at some of these older.
Well,
God,
even Robert Redford, who just died, you saw
man.
His hair. I'm not sure that was his real hair, but you can't end up like me. You can't go bald, it seems, unless you're like Michael Jordan or certain sports figures. They can get away with it. But by the way, Donna says he looks sickly. Ryan Seacrest looks sickly, and I kind of feel the same way.
Well, and sometimes I'm just like, stop getting Botox.
Yeah, right.
Stop.
Yeah,
I even comment to my husband.
I don't want to cut you off, but Davey's going to get mad. I got to take a break.
Okay.
But I'll hear that coming up. Hold tight here.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
From the Stanley Theater Studios, WIBX Utica, Rome.
W295EI.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Celebrating 100 years.
He'll appear in court again in 12 days. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Could you state your name? Tyler James Robinson.
And that's all the suspected Charlie Kirk assassin said in his video appearance, where charges were detailed, including aggravated murder, which could lead to the death penalty. At a news conference, Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray detailed evidence.
The roommate received a text message from Robinson which said, "Drop what you're doing. Look under my keyboard." The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, quote, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it."
In another exchange, when the roommate asked why he did it, Robinson replied he had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out.
Yesterday on Capitol Hill, FBI Director Kash Patel said investigators are tracking down each and every person who the accused killer had been in touch with leading up to and after the shooting, including those that he spoke to online.
We are very much in our ongoing posture of investigation.
So others could have been involved?
Yes, sir.
At this point, no one else has been charged in this case. But
that's Fox's Garrett Tenney at the Utah County Jail. We heard Director Patel with Senator John Kennedy. He also clashed at the FBI oversight hearing with Democrats, especially Senator Adam Schiff.
You continue to lie from your perch and put on a show so you can go raise money for your charade. You are a political buffoon at best.
Patel could clash with more lawmakers at a House hearing this morning. President Trump's in Britain and will get royal treatment this hour, meeting with King Charles at Windsor Castle. The president's the first world leader to get a second UK state visit. Tomorrow he meets with the Prime Minister.
The UK wants to improve the trade deal the two countries announced back in May, especially the steel and aluminum tariffs, which are currently sitting at 25%. The rest of the world is facing a 50% duty on those products, but industry leaders hope to slash the UK rate to 0.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich in Windsor. America's listening to Fox News.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Lucky Larry's Landscaping, Larry! Larry saved his business money with a quick commercial auto quote from Progressive. Does it help he's his own marketing manager, accountant, executive assistant, and never been late? Technically, yes, but saving really put him over the edge. So, Larry, give Larry a round of applause. Be your own Larry. See if you could save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
Well, the same day Tyler Robinson made his first appearance in court to face charges in the Charlie Kirk assassination, Luigi Mangione was in court in New York. He's the one accused of murdering the United Healthcare CEO in New York City last year, shooting him outside a hotel.
New York State's second-degree murder charges against Luigi Mangione are being kept in place. But on Tuesday, the judge overseeing the case dropped the terrorism charges he'd been facing. The judge said New York law does not consider something an act of terror just because it was motivated by ideology. Mangione's supporters took up 3 rows in the courtroom gallery, with one sporting a Free Luigi shirt, a sentiment echoed outside the courthouse. Mangione has pleaded not guilty to the state charges against him in the shooting death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. He's also facing a parallel federal death penalty prosecution in the murder. In New York City, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
An interest rate cut is expected today, 0.25% perhaps, after a Federal Reserve meeting. Ahead of that on Wall Street, stock futures are mixed, not moving much. In baseball, the Seattle Mariners won their 10th straight game, beating Kansas City 12-5, powered by their catcher.
Cal Raleigh is having an all-time great season. The Mariners slugger hit his 55th and 56th home runs of the year Tuesday night against the Royals, breaking Mickey Mantle's record for homers by a switch hitter and tying the Seattle franchise record set by Ken Griffey Jr. Raleigh passed Mantle from the left side of the plate before tying Griffey while batting right-handed. With 11 games remaining in the regular season, Raleigh can become just the 10th Major League player to hit 60 home runs in a season. Joe Morgan, Fox News.
Shohei Ohtani hit his 50th home run and pitched 5 no-hit innings. But the LA Dodgers lost to Philadelphia 9-6. Ohtani is the first player ever with 50 homers and 50 strikeouts as a pitcher in the same season. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Here's the latest from the WIBX newsroom. I'm Doug Callum. New York State Police say a 38-year-old Westernville man was shot Monday night after threatening another man and his family during a fight in Oneida County. According to troopers, around 7:40 p.m., they responded to a report of a domestic dispute with shots fired on Main Street, and the 38-year-old man went into the home of the 48-year-old man, where an altercation broke out, according to troopers. During the fight, the victim threatened the man and his family. The 43-year-old then fired multiple rounds from a gunshot from a shotgun loaded with birdshot. The victim was taken to Wynn Hospital in Utica for non-life-threatening injuries. No names released. If you have information on the incident, police ask you to contact them or Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers. Police investigated an altercation from Friday on Oneida Square and ultimately have arrested 5 local men, 4 from Utica, 1 from the village of Mohawk, all on criminal charges of possession of a weapon. Police say none of the 5 men would admit to ownership of an illegal gun in their possession, so all 5 were charged. The full story, with photos and names, is available on our news site at WIBX950.com. The Department of Homeland Security is refuting a claim that it didn't have a criminal search warrant before carrying out an immigration raid at the Cayuga County business in Cato. In Syracuse Monday, Governor Hochul said the agency had administrative warrants when they arrived at the Nutrition Bar Confectioners in Cato, but DHS says that's not true, that the court authorized the operation to detain dozens of undocumented immigrants. Of the 57 people taken into custody, 52 were returned to their country of origin. A terrible sight on the New York State Thruway in the Syracuse area in DeWitt Tuesday morning. Drivers reported a man hanging from the Thruway overpass at Fly Road at about 8:20 yesterday morning. The 28-year-old man was deceased, according to police. Troopers say the incident appears to be suicide. If you or someone you know is considering suicide, call or text 988 to speak with someone. Police in Norwich have arrested a 27-year-old man from Ohio who attempted to register and enroll in high school there. Police say Jaira Alexander seems suspicious, according to school officials. No students were injured. The man was also wanted in Ohio on robbery charges and for allegedly impersonating an officer. Police in Rome are investigating an incident in the city on Floyd Avenue at about 1:30 a.m. Tuesday. A woman driving her bicycle when a silver vehicle approached her. According to police, a male exited the vehicle, forcibly took the bike from the woman, and drove off. Anyone with information is asked to contact Rome Police or Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers at 866-730-8477 or online at MohawkValleyCrimeStoppers.com. And if you've traveled to Wegmans, the grocery chain is announcing a recall of several products that have been found on its store shelves. The chain says Wegmans organic sliced pears, Wegmans food you feel good about halved pears and pear juice, and Wegmans food you feel good about canned fruit cocktail may have unsafe amounts of lead in them. All 3 products have a best buy date of September 1st, 2027. Anyone who purchased the items can return them for a full refund. In sports, the Mets opened up their series against the Padres with an 8-3 win from Queens. Brett Beatty, Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso, and Cedric Mullins each went deep in the victory. New York is third in the National League wild card and will continue its 3-game set against San Diego tonight. The Yankees bounced back with a 10-9 victory over the Twins in Minneapolis. Trent Grisham led the way at the plate after going 2 for 4 with a 2-run homer and 3 RBIs. New York is leading the AL wild card and will wrap up its 3-game series tonight against Minnesota. The 4th week of college football season starts tomorrow. Rutgers is 3-0. They'll host Iowa Friday night. Syracuse 2-1, visiting Clemson Saturday afternoon. UConn is 1-2 and hosts Ball State Saturday afternoon. Utica University is at Hobart on Saturday. Hamilton College visits Amherst also Saturday at 1 p.m. That is the latest. I'm Doug Callan for WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Still blocked, meaning not much changing. This weather pattern is going to stay pretty stagnant. Might get a front to come through with limited fanfare late week. Going to cool temperatures off quite a bit. Partial sun with clouds this morning and this afternoon. Could get into the upper 70s. Tonight in the mid-50s, North Country cooler. Thursday, sunny 80. Friday, sunshine and cooler, high only 70. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stidgick, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
All right, currently it's mostly cloudy. We're at 53. And we're doing Hobica's free money question of the day for, let me start over. 3, 2, 1. We're all recorded here. We're doing Hobica's free money question of the day coming up. And, Davey, this morning, it's worth how much money?
Oh, I'm frustrated right now.
Okay. All right. What?
You're hilarious is what you are.
We'll get back to you.
No. Go ahead.
That's the question. How much is the free money question?
200.
What are you eating? It should be 2 something. It was 200 yesterday.
225.
Right. 225. All right. What are you eating, by the way?
An animal cracker.
Okay.
But I'm frustrated, though.
About
what?
What's going on?
Frustrated over? Frustrated and flustered.
Yeah.
Your phone.
You're both.
I did the update on my phone.
Okay.
Yesterday.
All right.
But now my text message sound in my phone doesn't ring. It just silence.
Okay. If you bring it into me, I'll fix it for you.
Well, I'll tell you.
I'll show you how to fix it.
Well, I'll tell you. So
okay, good.
I turned my phone off yesterday for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
To do the reset. And then it worked all last night. And then I wake up this morning, it's not working
Do me
at
a
all.
favor. Do me a favor. Say into the phone, "Hey Siri, turn off Do Not Disturb."
Hey Siri.
Okay, be quiet.
Turn off
Siri's answering.
Turn off Do Not Disturb.
Do Not Disturb is already turned off.
Okay, it's not that then.
You got the little button on the side clicked where it's vibrate, no sound?
I don't know what the...
No, that right, that might be. Bring it in here. Bring it in here, and we'll take a look at it.
Okay.
Did you update your phone yet?
I didn't.
It's
Smitty,
a whole new. It's a whole.
Well, you warned me Monday, and I didn't buy. I didn't believe it.
Well,
it sounds like.
Well, you want to look at it. I mean, it's all. Everything is completely
Can I see your home
different.
screen?
Yeah, it's like glass. See,
well, I can show you this home screen. I mean, there's this.
Is that your girlfriend?
No.
Yeah. So the icons are like see-through now. But the mail is all different. You can do stuff with the mail, and there's just a lot of differences.
I don't know if I want to update.
You're going to love it, though. You're going to love it.
I never want to update. When my husband and I finally got phones, we did it because his phone was old enough where it couldn't handle an update.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You were due for we were due for upgrades like 10 years ago.
And in Rome, I'm going to word of the day today is going to be surprise. That'll be the word of the day. Okay, Davey. Oh, you have an older phone, so it's...
Yeah, Bill always has the freshest off the
Well,
manufacturing
you got to
line.
know what you're talking. I can't even get my finger in to turn this thing on. Volume, okay. Let's see what we're looking at here. Davey, I'll try to fix this during the break, but can you hit that button? Oh, I see. It's that. You have the old phone. No, that's not turned on. We'll figure it out. Leave it here with me. I'm going to text your girlfriends. Stand by. We're coming right. It's $225 on the line today for WIBX free money question of the day. Coming up.
Thanks for bringing us back on track there.
We'll speak with Roseanne Leparco, Master Gardener at Cornell Cooperative Extension, and what should you be doing right now, and why are you I'm telling you, I think I've reached a point. I've like 9,000 green tomatoes that won't turn red. It's driving me nuts. So I think it's time to just pick them, and we're having
fried green tomatoes.
Fried green tomatoes. Yep. Love that. Hold on tight. We'll come right back at WIBX.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and service in Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit BMEcompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
When it comes to the ones we love, their comfort and dignity matter most. That is why Hospice and Palliative Care is here for you. When you want your loved ones' wishes to be honored, when you want them to be comfortable, safe, and secure, and when you want them to be wherever they call home, Hospice and Palliative Care is the right choice. Our team of professional doctors, nurses, social workers, and bereavement counselors are dedicated to providing compassionate care every step of the way. At Hospice, your loved one is not alone, and neither are you. We are just a phone call away, ready to support you through this journey. Choose Hospice and Palliative Care, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison County for the comfort and dignity your loved ones deserve. For more information, visit our website, hospicecareinc.org, or call us today at 315-735-6484. Hospice and Palliative Care, Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison counties.
When you need us most.
Is the IRS coming after you for unpaid taxes you can't afford to pay? This special notice is for you. The IRS has made it easier to resolve your tax debt with special IRS tax relief programs, including the Fresh Start Initiative. These historic IRS programs are designed to help taxpayers like you resolve their tax debt and may qualify you for significant reductions. Call Community Tax to see if you qualify. They're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau with 4.5 stars on Google, and they're top rated by Consumer Affairs. Now's your chance for significant relief. Free yourself from your IRS nightmare and avoid wage garnishments, liens on your bank account, your pension, on your home, or even your Social Security income. If you can't afford to pay your back taxes, if you haven't filed in years, call the Community Tax Helpline now at 800-216-9617. Solve your IRS problems today. Call for your free consultation. 800-216-9617. 800-216-9617.
Hi, this is Ray Durso of the Genesis Group. If you're interested in keeping up with events and news in the Mohawk Valley region, I have the show for you. It's called This Week in the Mohawk Valley, and it airs every Sunday on WIBX. Join us as we talk with area business leaders, elected officials, law enforcement, educators, and more. Don't miss This Week in the Mohawk Valley every Sunday at 9 a.m. on WIBX 950 a.m. 92.3 FM.
Celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, Davey, I've adjusted your phone to make it work. There's a little thing on there that says if the person calling you is not in your contacts and it's an unknown caller, it'll go straight to voicemail. And I have that turned on my phone. I'm okay with it.
Thank you.
You are not. And your text messages should be working now, too.
Thank you.
Okay. I also think I turned on Wi-Fi calling. That helps. Every once in a while, like if you're in an area where your cell coverage is bad, but you're on Wi-Fi, it'll call through Wi-Fi.
Okay.
I turned that on for you.
Thank you.
Mike and Skylar, we're going to talk a little. Listen, if you own an iPhone, you may get something out of this. Well, you own an iPhone. You have
No,
one.
I know. When
You're
you
annoyed
said,
by this?
No, you said Mike and Skyler, and I thought to myself,
here we
does
go.
he have a bowling story?
Nope.
And I forgot the two of you will commiserate or celebrate all the changes. It's a transparent app now.
Our biggest conversation the other day on Monday, was it Tuesday or Monday? Monday was when they announced the release. Our biggest thing was, what kind of popcorn are you going to serve at your Apple
This is
party?
like a must-watch event when they do this on the internet.
Yeah, well, it was. Did you update?
Of course he did. He was updating before the update was out. He wanted to get it immediately.
Well, you can take the beta version. Okay, go ahead.
I stopped doing the beta. I stopped doing the beta, but yeah.
Yeah, can you pick up, because it sounds like you're on speaker.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me see.
Yeah.
All right.
See,
okay, can you hear me now?
The experienced.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I was in the car.
We don't listen around here. We care nothing about safety. It's all about the quality of the sound on the radio.
Well, I'm parked now. So
good.
Thank
Pull
you.
over and be safe.
I was going to recommend it.
Yeah.
So it took I had 6 things I had to update.
I did too.
It took a while
done.
because when that day it comes out, there's a big traffic and everything for it. But yeah, I got everything done by Monday. I do like a lot of the things with the iPad where now you have the Windows thing, like when you open.
I haven't updated the iPad yet, so I don't know.
Yeah, that one took longer.
Yeah.
Mike, what are you saying? It's got Windows like what? It's got Windows like what?
When you open things up, you have almost like that Windows effect where you can resize the windows. It has the three.
So you can create like a little
upper left.
You can create like a little home screen.
Gotcha.
And a customized home. One thing I don't have a lot of time to talk right now, Mike. So we'll do it maybe tomorrow. Or the next time you think I'm struggling on the air, call right in and we'll talk for an hour. But I will tell you, one of the things we discussed on Monday was Apple CarPlay. So if you have Apple CarPlay, there are two different kinds of Apple CarPlay. There's the enhanced, and some brands, I believe Ford might be one of them, are participating. And if you have a newer vehicle, what can happen? You can literally, your speedometer is now digital. Mm-hmm. You can literally change your speedometer. You can move everything all over the place and customize the dash on your car.
Or you could just focus on, driving.
Or you could drive, right? But and then there are cars that do not participate in CarPlay, enhanced CarPlay, and that is mine. And your question was, are there any changes on your CarPlay after the update? Were there changes on yours?
Yeah, it definitely has new effect. There is a thing where you move the thing over, you can put widgets.
You can add widgets. Like I got a clock there, and you can do an airport.
I haven't played around with it yet, but I did see that when I was in the car.
I like it. I like I think the updates are really good. I like them.
Me too. And,
on the CarPlay.
One quick reflection too on Robert Redford. It was sad yesterday he passed. I remember growing up, my aunt, one of my aunts was a big fan of Robert Redford, and the other was a big fan of Kevin Costner. And one of the things I did not know, did you know that they actually asked Robert Redford first to be the patriarch of the Yellowstone?
Oh,
I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
But then they asked him first, and then I guess then comes to find out they actually wanted a Robert Redford look-alike because obviously Redford was older, and he turned it down, and then it went to Costner.
I got to say, for Yellowstone, and this is just my opinion, you could not find a better person than Kevin Costner.
I know.
Especially if you know,
it was made for that
if
role.
you know, I grew up in the country around a lot of farmers, and oftentimes there would be a farmer, an old farmer, who was quiet, few words, but you knew you wouldn't want to mess with him because he'd kill you.
Yes.
And Kevin Costner kind of had that mysterious way on Yellowstone that I just thought was perfect. I'm not sure Robert Redford would have done that, but. All right, Mike, I got to let you go, but I appreciate it. We'll talk when I'm struggling later in the week, okay? You know it's coming.
Good day, everyone.
Okay, thank
Sounds
you.
Good.
Go Apple. Go Bills, go Mets, go Apple. My apologies. Apologies for my obsessions.
No, I find it interesting. Not only do I find your obsession interesting and worth discussing, but I also do appreciate the information you share because it kind of preps me for what's coming.
Sometimes it can help.
I blindly go into these updates not knowing what it's going to do.
Yeah.
And I was actually surprised to hear you say on Monday it's going to change the look of your phone and everything.
Well,
and I never like that, but I'm glad to be prepared for it.
Little things. If you do the computer update, which I have a Mac, and you send out an email, the send button is now on the right side and not on the left side. That stuff bothers me because oftentimes we get, if you send out a lot of emails, you get this, it's habitual.
Yeah.
And you're not even thinking. It's subconscious, and you hit it. And I keep hitting the left-hand corner and closing the email when I want to send it. And then I got to start all over again. I hate that. On the line right now, another obsession of mine is I just love a lot of plants and trees and all that stuff. It's just me.
Can't have enough green.
It's always been that way for me. I don't know why, but that's where I'm at. And Roseanne Leparco hopes there are many, many, many more of me because that keeps her in business. She's a master gardener with Cornell Cooperative Extension. And good morning, Roseanne. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill. How are you today?
Wonderful. Do you have an iPhone or an Android phone?
No, I have an Android, and I barely figure it out. So I'm listening to you, and I was saying, oh my God, if my email changed,
right,
my screen changed, I'd probably go off the deep end.
I warned I warned Jeff, and I warned my parents. Not that I think you have no technological abilities, Jeff, at all, but I do think the change is big enough where you got to be prepared. There's going to be some what was in one place, it might not be in the same place anymore. And that's the thing I hate about these phones. It's not just Apple, it's Android as well. And it's all software. I swear, these software technicians, they hate us.
They get bored.
All they want to do is watch this. I'm watching him click his email. You watch when I change everything, he won't know where anything is. And then I think they sit in a room and watch us struggle to figure out how to send a freaking email.
Yeah.
That's where we are. Anyway, I'm sorry.
That's where we are. That's why gardening is nice.
It is.
There you go.
It basically stays the same, and I don't deal with change very well. So gardening is, I think that's why I like it so much, because it stays the same.
Although this year has been really weird.
This has been very weird.
Yeah.
I actually, after I talked to you the last time about your tomatoes not ripening.
Yeah, I'm screwed with that.
I did a little research, about it.
Yeah.
And again, it's another issue that was driven by our weather. If you didn't water enough, or you overwatered, which chances are people didn't, or the heat. Even though we always say tomatoes like the heat, the heat is supposed to be around 80 degrees, between 80 and 85 degrees. It's not supposed to be 100% humidity with the feels like temperature in the 90s. That's not good for tomatoes.
Can I interject one thing that I have, just as is anecdotal, but I've noticed. Everything in an area that has partial shade is doing unbelievably well. Everything that is full sun is struggling. And it's exactly what you're saying. This is what you're saying.
Yes, exactly. It's exactly that. And in fact, tomatoes that get that little bit of a break will ripen better than some that are cooking in the sun. And so now the good news is the weather we're having now is actually pretty good, because the nights cool off a little bit. And your tomato ripening season has been extended. And so I hope your tomatoes continue to ripen. I mean, the other lesson learned is when you select a tomato next year, make sure you take a look at the days to harvest information. Because they're not all the same.
Yeah.
And so if you can get a shorter days to harvest tomato, you'll have more success. That's why people tend to buy any tomato, but for our area, you really should look at that days to harvest information.
Fairly short. I honestly think
that's really short.
I honestly think the Amish were screwing with me, and they just gave me like I told you, I bought a bunch of eggplant plants, and they all turned out to be cucumbers.
Well, and you promised that you were going to taste one, if I remember correctly.
It was that cucumber thing, which is in partial shade, the vine is like 8 feet tall now. I've got like 10 long, thin cucumbers that are very prickly still, and I'm gonna pick them younger. I think I let them go a little too long, and they were slightly bitter. So
okay.
I'm gonna try it today. I'm gonna pick some youngins and see what happens.
Okay, and then you'll have to let me know how those work out for you.
I will. All right. Anything else that you can tell people? I've got about 4 minutes. I hate to steal up all the time, but anything you can tell people that they should be. This is odd. It looks like we're gonna have another 2 weeks with almost no rain and abnormally warmer temperatures.
Right. Focus your watering on your trees because those are the ones that'll suffer over the winter if they're not getting enough moisture now. So in an effort to conserve water, focus on the trees. Water your vegetable garden, obviously, because it's going to keep producing. The other thing that I would recommend that you could do, now is the time where you want to look around your house for any small openings, because right now the stink bugs, the box elder bugs, the beetles, they're all trying to find a way to hibernate for the winter. So you want to look for those openings around air conditioners, making sure around your windows and doors are sealed. So that's another activity that's perfect to do now. And then the other thing that I've been doing, since plants are still growing so well, I've been doing a lot of container rehab, I call it, where I try to consolidate the really best-looking plants to produce kind of a new container that'll take you through to the fall. And so this is where you could take your mom and maybe take a couple of your other good blooming plants that are still good now and create a new container so it freshens up your front a little bit.
That's a good idea.
And then the last piece of advice I would tell people is this is what I just did the past couple days. Perfect time to take cuttings of your annual plants, your flowers, to save for next year, because you could take cuttings, root them in a glass of water, and then pot them up and bring them inside, baby them inside, and you're ready to bring them outside come the spring.
All right.
You could do that with geraniums, impatiens, coleus. They cut really well in a glass. They'll root really well in a glass of water, and you could save some plants for next year. I love doing that. Plus, it'll bring some color inside your house.
Let me Paul with a comment here. Paul, you're on with Roseanne Laperco.
Good morning, Bill, and good morning, Roseanne. Bill, I had a question about your cucumbers. Does it have white spines or black spines on your little pricklies on them?
White.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to look into that.
Okay, if you could, because I'm all...
Yeah, no, I'm going to I'll look into that. Thank you.
You let me know.
Everybody have a good day. Bye-bye.
Right. Thanks so much.
I suspect it's some kind of an heirloom, because usually they have those very strange, they'll have a strange shape or a strange color.
I thought for a second Paul was going down a racial joke road there for a second, and I then realized
I thought he was going to identify it for you.
He's absolutely serious, and he's investigating. So we'll see, Roseanne, what he comes up with. So, but I think you're right. It's got to be, because the plants came from the Amish, so.
Yeah, and so you may have a lot of the heirlooms taste really good too. So
yeah, I like it with tomatoes, oil, vinegar, and salt and pepper. Tomatoes and cucumbers, just the best. And so I'm going to ask you this final question: if these tomatoes don't start to ripen this week, I should probably just pick them all.
Yeah, you can actually, one of the recommendations that I researched is, obviously they'll taste better as they ripen on the plant. So if you're willing to sacrifice a few, you can take a few off so the plant will put its energy towards the rest of them to ripen on the plant. And you could try to bring them inside in a dark, you don't need to put them in the sun. They could just be on the counter, or you could wrap them with newspaper, or I read put them in a box, and if you put a ripe banana or a ripe apple inside the box, that actually releases a gas to help the tomatoes ripen that way.
Okay. That's a cool little tip. All right, good stuff, Roseanne. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You have a great week, and happy gardening out there.
Yes, and I'll say let's go Mets, even though I'm not real happy with them. So
well, I feel. Yeah. Listen, we have put 2 wins back to back. As Manaski said, we can't call it a streak, but we have actually won 2 in a row. Cross your fingers.
Just looking at that 12 games back.
I know. Well, right now don't pay attention to that. Pay attention to the wild card lead. That's
I know, but I'm not happy with wild card, but I'll have to be happy.
I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you. So.
Well, you all have a good rest of your day.
All right, thanks so much. Have
a
great day.
Bye-bye.
I was at the bank yesterday, and my favorite teller over there was like, I was listening the other day. I had to turn it off. All they were talking about was good stuff about DeGrom. Can't they see we're losing the game? Who cares about DeGrom anymore? He's not with us anymore.
Yeah.
Did you see any of that game?
I saw the highlight where Jeff McNeil was punched out on a borderline pitch and immediately started yelling and got ejected from the game. I also saw some pregame stuff where he was kind of joking around with some of the former Mets teammates.
I loved him.
Yeah.
But, man, he just was so prone to injury. All right, we have Hobeika's free money question of the day. We'll get to coming up in a second. Update on the news. Davey?
No school in Oriskany today due to a water main break.
It is a water main break that is the cause of that. And that's Oriskany Central School is so they're a snow day down. How about that? Or maybe they can use it differently. Maybe an emergency day. I don't know how they do it. Anyway, no school in Oriskany today.
Together, we can do more. On September 19th, our community will hold Mohawk Valley Gives, an online day of giving to benefit area nonprofits. Your Mohawk Valley Gives donation will help hundreds of nonprofit organizations meet our community's greatest needs, and every dollar counts. Join us on September 19th at givemv.org, and let's show everybody that Mohawk Valley Gives. Powered by the Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida Counties and Up Mobility Foundation. MV Gives is proudly sponsored by Staffworks and M&T Bank.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion? That's billion with a B? Yeah. Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250. Micro.
Here's the latest from the WIBX newsroom. I'm Doug Callum. New York State Police say a 38-year-old Westernville man was shot Monday night after threatening another man and his family during a fight in Oneida County. According to troopers, around 7:40 p.m., they responded to a report of a domestic dispute with shots fired on Main Street. And the 38-year-old man went into the home of the 48-year-old man, where an altercation broke out, according to troopers. During the fight, the victim threatened the man and his family. The 43-year-old then fired multiple rounds from a gunshot from a shotgun loaded with birdshot. The victim was taken to Wynn Hospital in Utica for non-life-threatening injuries. No names released. If you have information on the incident, police ask you to contact them or Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers. Police investigated an altercation from Friday in Oneida Square and ultimately have arrested 5 local men, 4 from Utica, 1 from the village of Mohawk, all on criminal charges of possession of a weapon. Police say none of the 5 men would admit to ownership of an illegal gun in their possession, so all 5 were charged. The full story, with photos and names, is available on our news site at WIBX950.com. Police in Norwich have arrested a 27-year-old man from Ohio who attempted to register and enroll in high school there. Police say Jaira Alexander seemed suspicious, according to school officials. No students were injured. The man was also wanted in Ohio on robbery charges and for allegedly impersonating an officer. That is the latest. I'm Doug Callan for WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Still blocked, meaning not much changing. This weather pattern is going to stay pretty stagnant. Might get a front to come through with limited fanfare late week. Going to cool temperatures off quite a bit. Partial sun with clouds this morning and this afternoon. Could get into the upper 70s. Tonight in the mid-50s, North Country cooler. Thursday, sunny 80. Friday, sunshine and cooler, high only 70. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stidgick, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
All right, currently we're looking at some clouds and 54. Coming up, we'll speak with Mike Curley, Lieutenant Mike Curley with UPD. Two topics, the Oneida Square incident, 5 people arrested, a gun was confiscated, and the vandalism by 2 what seems like young kids on a motorcycle, dirt bike, and an ATV from about a week and a half ago. And what's the status of that case? We'll get to it coming right up. Davey, Hobica's free money question of the day, $225. You're looking for caller number what?
Caller 5.
5th caller right now at 315-736-0186. You can call right now for your chance to win from Hobica and WIBX. And Barneveld, it's time to celebrate. GPL Federal Credit Union is marking 10 years of being in Barneveld with a decade of dedication, celebration, and contests as well. In order to become eligible for the contest, there's no purchase necessary, but it is based on having a membership and opening a checking account. NCUA insured. Entering the contest is based on that opening of the checking account. For details and contest rules, go to the bridge. Contest ends September 30th at the end of the month, but it's your chance to win as they celebrate Barneveld at gpofcu.com. And Mazda has transformed a successful race-proven vehicle and technology into a great road vehicle, the new Mazda. Save on a new Mazda lease or enjoy 2.9% APR financing on new 2025 Mazda CX-30s, CX-5s, and there's 1.9% APR financing on new 2025 Mazda CX-50s, 70s, and 90s. See Ricky Z, or anybody at the dealership for details. And with Rick, it's all about that customer service, and that is the Steet way. As Rick says, let's make your deal on a new Mazda where it's always easy to do business. Steet Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. And I should say, to clarify, it is the Steet Ponte way, not just the Steet way. It's the Steet Ponte way. I don't want to leave out Mr. Ponte in this either.
No.
That would be bad. It's Ricky Z and everybody at Steet Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
At Community Memorial, we have one goal: to help you get better. Like better emergency care, our ED in Hamilton now offers the lowest average wait times in the region, a comfortable waiting area, and private patient rooms. There's now better access to orthopedic care from our world-class specialists, the latest advanced robotic technology, and walk-in clinics in New Hartford, Cazenovia, and Hamilton. We now offer quicker access to breast biopsies and colonoscopies because faster is better. And better community care with in-house surgical and rehab teams in Hamilton, urgent care, and 6 regional primary care offices. Plus, get access to better diagnostics with the latest MRI and CT imaging. Better. That's our commitment throughout the entire CMH healthcare system, providing better experiences with better services to support better outcomes. Learn more at communitymemorial.org and get better at CMH in Hamilton.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure. Now 1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan.
your car steering wheel could be a ticking time bomb. At least 24 people have died and many more injured because their airbags fired shrapnel at them upon inflating. Tens of millions of cars have been recalled. If you suffered cuts that required stitches, hearing or vision loss, or broken bones, please contact us today. You could be owed money for medical bills and other damages.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit us at badairbags.com for an office near you. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Are your windows old and tired? Hard to put up and down? Builder's grade windows just aren't made to last very long. Patriot Home Solutions is a different kind of window company. No games or gimmicks, no long drawn-out sales presentations, just high-quality, custom-fit windows at reasonable prices made right here in New York. And right now, you can get up to $2,000 off new windows from Patriot and NYSERDA, plus 0% interest for 18 months. Most homeowners qualify for the savings, and income is not one of the requirements. So write this number down, 315-401-0440. That's 401-0440. Patriot Home Solutions will tell you right over the phone if you qualify. Don't miss your chance to save up to $2,000 on new windows. Funds are limited, so call before they run out. Learn more at callpatriothomesolutions.com. That's callpatriothomesolutions.com.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, good morning. It's 7:44. We'll talk to Lieutenant Mike Curley coming up in a second. It's time for Hobica's free money question of the day. Bob is our contestant from Whitesboro. It's from the Hobica Law Firm. For your legal needs, call Joseph or Andrew Hobica at 315-724-1600 for all of your legal needs. Bob, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. How are we doing?
Good. This is kind of a deep track question. This is a deep cut is what I'm looking for. This is kind of a deep cut question. But if you heard the story, it's in the news. If you heard this story, you will be able to answer this immediately. And I hope you heard it. It's worth $225. Here is the question. It's from the ESPN When It's Late at Night category. The ESPN When It's Late at Night category. There was a major cheating scandal at the World Stone Skipping Competition in Scotland over the weekend. Officials discovered the contestants were using a foreign substance to help them win. What was this foreign substance or material? What was it? Ready, go.
Chalk.
Chalk. Were they like rubbing the stones with chalk and it would allow them to, or Vaseline even?
That was my guess.
Yeah. Turns out they caught a group of contestants using perfectly round manufactured stones that were skipping halfway across the lake, and they were disqualified.
So how does this? Do you watch this?
Oh yeah,
boy, we got to get you a hobby.
Yeah.
I want to know when he sleeps. That's what I want to know.
Listen, the Mets had lost 8 in a row, and I'm like, what's on? And there we are, the World Stone Skimming Championship. So here's audio.
Unfortunately, by a very small number of competitors, they had used some machinery to smooth the outside edge of their stone and make it exactly perfectly round to fit through our measurer, which is called the Ring of Truth.
Well, that's what this show is, Bob. We are the Ring of Truth. It's funny that people have called us that often.
With perfectly round, smooth edges.
I turned into the rounded ring of truth.
Oh, Lord. We're gonna give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's a $25 gift card. I told you it was a deep cut. $25 gift card from Aquavino and Babes, the Comets. The gift shop, the Comets, the list goes on. Davey's going to hook you up, Bob.
Bob, please send us the number and contact information for a local therapist because we may need that here.
You may need it. So, all right, Bob, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, stand by. Yeah, they were using fake stones. That would have worked. Fake stones.
Wow.
How does this typically work for such a competition? You bring your own stones?
Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently.
It sounds like there's some kind of requirement of what the stones look or are shaped.
Yeah,
well, the requirement is they must be natural.
Natural.
I mean, you could bring a boulder if you think you can skip that across the water. Have at it.
See, my first question was, how did this make international news?
Yeah.
This sounds like a bad.
Well, it was on
contest.
ESPN late at night. That's what's on.
Okay.
Would you rather? You've got your choice: stone skipping or cornhole. You pick it.
Yeah, right.
Which do you want?
From stone skipping to never mind. I'm not going to say.
All right.
It. Never mind.
Well,
never mind.
I want
to. Careful.
I want to go to Lieutenant Mike Curley with UPD. It has been a Mike. It seems like it has been so busy and dangerous on a not light note, and extremely dangerous for your officers out there over the last 3 or 4 weeks. It's been crazy out there.
Yeah, in totality, certainly the shots fired are up the last couple of days, and the four-wheeler incident in Valley View. We had another incident with a group of four-wheelers trying to take over a city street that our crime prevention unit did a great job with last night. So it's just kind of the lack of social norms and people wanting to follow the rules in general.
Yeah,
getting kind of old,
What is going on? Okay, let's start with the Oneida Square situation. Officers saw a disturbance. It looked like some sort of an altercation. Upon investigation, tell us what happened then.
Yeah, so as we all know, unfortunately, Oneida Square is kind of a hotspot area in the city, so we pay a lot of attention to it with everything that's going on there. And during the course of a patrol, about 10:45 at night, we along with parole, noticed a fight going on, and then as they arrived, these people kind of jumped into a car to try to hide from us, and as they approached the car, they noticed the butt of a handgun protruding from one of the back seat pockets. So at that point, everybody was removed. The handgun was safely recovered, and everybody was detained. And, part of that investigation, obviously, is to try to determine who possessed that firearm to make sure that we're charging the right individual. But something in New York State is called constructive possession, that if there's contraband, to include weapons or drugs in a vehicle, and nobody wants to claim ownership, at that point, everyone in that vehicle can be charged. And, that's what happened in this case.
And there were 5 people arrested. One was from the village of Mohawk. The other 4 were from Utica. Okay, then we'll go to, and this just seems like a crazy story. Valley View. Golfers noticed 2 young guys on a dirt bike and an SUV that were really tearing up the course at Valley View. And when they approached them and actually apparently there's some pretty good pictures out there, Lieutenant, but when they approached the kids, they were not only defiant, but in some cases, I've heard, and you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, they were actually vulgar in their response to in other words, like, yeah, you want this, you come and get this, or something like that. Sorry. I don't know if that's accurate,
totally
but
it is accurate, and it's sad, and I just don't know what motivates someone to just wantonly destruct property that people are enjoying, right? I mean, we always say that there's not enough to do in the city sometimes. People complain there's not enough to do in the city, and the things that we do that are kept in well condition and that people enjoy, there just has to be people ruining them. And again, like you said, there's photos all over the internet. We're working really hard to try to identify who they are. Any kind of public assistance in identifying those individuals will be very helpful. But, again, last night, we believe that those 2 individuals were part of this group. It's just a very dangerous and difficult situation when you have a multitude of four-wheelers and ATVs kind of traversing the city streets and not listening to any commands and trying to put people at danger. At some point, we just have to back off and kind of let them do their thing.
So you think that the ATV event from yesterday, the incident from yesterday, may have included these 2 kids?
From what the reports are saying from our officers who were present, that it was likely just because that one of those four-wheelers in particular, if you watch, I don't want to give it away too much, but if you look at the photographs, it's pretty distinctive with respect to the colorings and markings, and if you see it, you know it, and they witnessed it last night.
And the other part of this, this is not some, oftentimes it's like, inner city kids, they have nothing to do, and this is why this is happening. Whoever these kids are have the means to be able to own some pretty good gear in terms of ATVs.
Yeah, and I guess it just befuddles me, right? Like, you're already in the woods. You're already in the park. Yeah. Why do you need to feel that we don't advocate it, but don't go driving on the greens. You got a tremendous amount of woods and park right there. You want to illegally take your four-wheeler in the city streets or the city proper, then go up in the woods and do it. But you're not across greens, not across people. Don't put people in danger, and certainly don't taunt people that are trying to enjoy themselves on a Saturday morning, and you just feel like you need to be destructive.
And not to mention the damage and the cost it will take to repair, which I'm not sure we know what the amount of damage that was done at this point was.
No, exactly. It's gonna, it's subjective, right? I mean, it's grass, it's dirt, it's sod, it's all kinds of things that are going to take time. And towards the end of the golf season, when people want to get it in, and we're experiencing some really nice weather, and now that Valley View has to be suffered, or they can't get the people in, or that part of their golf course is uninhabitable right now, it's just not acceptable.
Not to make light of this, but the good news is I think they're enforcing the rule that if you land the ball on the green, it's a one putt and you just pick it up and go. So scores are coming down.
The leagues are happy, right? Yeah,
there are some
getting lower score, their handicaps go down.
There are some golfers that are like, this is perfect. And then I guess I would ask the question: how in the world this photo has been plastered all over the place, and how is it that some parent hasn't looked and said, oh? Because there were some markings. The kids look. I mean, how is it that a parent hasn't called up and said, "Listen, that's my kid"?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't mean to make light or even come close to these two scenarios, but if someone's willing to turn their kid in for a political assassination,
correct.
We can't even get a parent to turn somebody in to ride a four-wheeler in Valley View. That we're probably just going to ask them to take a shovel to fix it, right? Like this individual isn't going to jail for the rest of their life. It's, do some effort to right your wrongs. I think it's a bigger problem with the parenting, not the kid.
Yeah, I completely. Well, especially if you're a kid and you are you're so confident in yourself that you can perform that way,
and get away with it.
Even when you're caught, they're taking pictures of you, and you're basically laughing at the people that have caught you. There's a parenting issue there.
And not only that, but from what he said earlier, to not have sat down and talked to the kid and said, knock this off, because apparently they were out doing it yesterday or whatever.
Crazy.
It's unfortunate.
For sure.
All right, and then one last thing I wanted to throw at you, and you know that we have this situation that, and I appreciate everything the UPD has done in our case that involved my son, and none of this is easy. But I read online there was another case where a woman was attacked in Utica, and again, this is on social media, so I don't know. But the husband, the reason it hit social media is because the husband was going door to door asking people and showing a picture. I'm assuming, and the reason I bring this up is maybe you can confirm there was or wasn't, but probably not a good idea for family members to take matters into their own hands.
Yeah, we certainly wouldn't advocate that. We're here to help. Bill, in your case, we have tracked that individual as far as southbound to almost like Bonnie Bray on Genesee Street and up that way. So we're still trying to find, at this point, unfortunately, we're losing some latency in video, but we're doing our very best. Again, one of those cases where, same with the four-wheelers, if you know the individual, you know them, you just got to come forward and tell us. Our whole job is predicated on victim witness and people cooperating and providing this information. And sometimes when we don't get it, it makes cases very difficult.
And listen, I appreciate absolutely everything that you guys have done, and I can't stress that enough. So,
no, I'm sorry you're going through it, and we still, that case is very open, and we're doing everything we can to.
We are. Listen, Mike, we're trying to take the attitude. It could have been worse. Yeah. It could have been so much worse. So that's how I look at it. I have to. No. Okay, Mike. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
I guess talk to you soon.
Lieutenant Mike Curley. Later. Love the fact that he's there to answer these questions. And, listen, there's somebody that knows. There's somebody that knows. There's probably more than somebody. There are people who know. The photos have been all over the place.
Well, look, I know not
everybody. At the very least, you bring up, I thought your point was really good. It's like, all right, so you're not turning your kid in. How about stopping them from continuing to harass the neighborhood?
And we're sure it's a kid? I haven't seen the photo.
I've heard numbers that are like somewhere between, 17 and 22, 23.
Oh, okay.
I've seen photos. Okay. I don't even think they're that old.
Maybe they're not.
If they're school age, I'm surprised a teacher hasn't said, I recognize you.
Yeah. I don't get it.
Okay, I was thinking 13, 14. I haven't seen this photo. It all depends on what you follow.
It's kind of hard to see the face. You really can't because they're wearing helmets.
And glasses.
I'm thinking someone, if you're a parent, there are markings on those ATVs and you know, you got an ATV and a dirt bike, and you know Joey and Bobby are going out together, and you kind of know. I mean, and he makes I think a really good point. Look what happened in the Charlie Kirk case.
Yeah.
The parents saw it, the mother saw it, and was like, "Oh my God, I think that's our son," and they're the ones who actually turned him in. And this kid's going to face the death penalty. These kids aren't facing the death penalty.
No.
You know? Come on.
No, but sometimes this instance is where that behavior begins. If I could get away with this, can I get away with that?
You gotta wonder. Yeah. You gotta wonder.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, in homes in Utica, one of the worst areas in the state when it comes to lead contamination and lead poisoning in children, especially early on, can be just devastating, harming a child's brain, nervous system, speech, hearing, learning, behavior. Talk to your doctor or healthcare provider, but kids need to be tested as early as 1 and 2 for lead poisoning. You can go to leadfreemv.org. It's a lead-safe Utica program, and you can call 315-724-4197. I'll tell you why. There is up to $30,000 per unit in HUD lead hazard reduction funding. So you could have this completely corrected, save the children, and have it all paid for. Call today or visit the website, leadsafeutica.com, or call 315-724-4197, 315-724-4197.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, celebrating 100 years.
A royal welcome. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's at Windsor Castle in Britain, where President Trump is now, with the First Lady standing outside next to King Charles and Queen Camilla, arriving in a horse-drawn carriage. After landing nearby in a helicopter, the president will have lunch with the king and later a state dinner.
President Trump is the first world leader to receive the honor of a second state visit. Typically, those invitations are recommended by the government as a tool for diplomacy. But President Trump says he's been friends with the king and queen for a very long time. Regardless, this second visit shows just how important the UK believes the U.S. relationship is, and that it should use every tool at its disposal to draw President Trump closer.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich in Windsor. Tomorrow, the president will meet with Britain's prime minister and talk trade. It's back to federal court this morning for Ryan Ruth, charged in the second Trump assassination attempt last year. He's acting as his own lawyer in the trial in Florida. Tyler Robinson will make another court appearance in 12 days, charged in Charlie Kirk's murder a week ago.
The alleged assassin showed no emotion during his first court appearance as he learned he could face the death penalty. He was wearing a suicide prevention vest, and the only time we heard him speak was when he confirmed his name. Before that hearing, the Utah County District Attorney shared a lot of new details from the investigation, including a series of text messages from after the shooting where the accused killer, Tyler Robinson, confessed to his roommate, who he was in a relationship with.
Fox's Garrett Tenney at the Utah County Jail. FBI Director Kash Patel told senators they're investigating if others were involved. And he clashed with Democrats at the FBI oversight hearing, including Senator Cory Booker.
I follow you on your social media posts that tear this country apart.
To address your falsehoods.
Oh, you can try all you want.
In this country.
There'll be a House hearing for the FBI in 2 hours. America's listening to Fox News.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Lucky Larry's Landscaping, Larry! Larry saved his business money with a quick commercial auto quote from Progressive. Does it help he's his own marketing manager, accountant, executive assistant, and never been late? Technically, yes, but saving really put him over the edge. So, Larry, give Larry a round of applause. Be your own Larry. See if you could save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
After President Trump's state visit to Britain and meetings with the king and the prime minister, he's planning to talk to another world leader, China's Xi Jinping. And TikTok's future is at stake as the social media app gets another lifeline, again voiding an American ban mandated by law, if TikTok does not cut ties with its Chinese parent company over security and surveillance concerns.
For the fourth time, the deadline to keep TikTok available in the U.S. has been pushed back, this time to December 16th. But this extension is in the shadow of a deal which President Trump announced before leaving for the U.K.
I've reached a deal with China. I'm going to speak to President Xi on Friday to confirm everything up. We made a very good trade deal, and I hope good for both countries.
A key requirement in the deal has always been getting the social media app under U.S. ownership. The president said announcements of who may be in line to buy TikTok will come soon. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Some winners may soon be losers.
For years, Publishers Clearinghouse ran sweepstakes offering winners hefty checks as Americans were bombarded with advertisements.
Enter the one and only Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes.
Often the prizes included lifetime payouts, but that forever money could come to an end. Publishers Clearinghouse filed for bankruptcy in April. ARB Interactive, a mobile gaming company, has acquired their assets. However, under the terms of the sales agreement, ARB will not honor payouts for those who won their life-changing prizes before July 15th of this year. The decision has left many winners unsure of their financial future. Tom Graham, Fox News.
An interest rate cut might be coming today after the Federal Reserve finishes a two-day meeting assessing the economy from inflation to the slowing job market. A 0.25% cut is expected. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell at a news conference after could give guidance on future rate cuts. On Wall Street, stock futures aren't moving much. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Here's the latest from the WIBX newsroom. I'm Doug Callum. New York State Police say a 38-year-old Westernville man was shot Monday night after threatening another man and his family during a fight in Oneida County. According to troopers, around 7:40 p.m., they responded to a report of a domestic dispute with shots fired on Main Street, and the 38-year-old man went into the home of the 48-year-old man, where an altercation broke out, according to troopers. During the fight, the victim threatened the man and his family. The 43-year-old then fired multiple rounds from a gunshot from a shotgun loaded with birdshot. The victim was taken to Wynn Hospital in Utica for non-life-threatening injuries. No names released. If you have information on the incident, police ask you to contact them or Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers. Police investigated an altercation from Friday in Oneida Square and ultimately have arrested 5 local men, 4 from Utica, 1 from the village of Mohawk, all on criminal charges of possession of a weapon. Police say none of the 5 men would admit to ownership of an illegal gun in their possession, so all 5 were charged. The full story, with photos and names, is available on our news site at WIBX950.com. The Department of Homeland Security is refuting a claim that it didn't have a criminal search warrant before carrying out an immigration raid at the Cayuga County business in Cato. In Syracuse Monday, Governor Hochul said the agency had administrative warrants when they arrived at the Nutrition Bar Confectioners in Cato, but DHS says that's not true, that the court authorized the operation to detain dozens of undocumented immigrants. Of the 57 people taken into custody, 52 were returned to their country of origin. A terrible sight on the New York State Thruway in the Syracuse area in DeWitt Tuesday morning. Drivers reported a man hanging from the Thruway overpass at Fly Road at about 8:20 yesterday morning. The 28-year-old man was deceased, according to police. Troopers say the incident appears to be suicide. If you or someone you know is considering suicide, call or text 988 to speak with someone. Police in Norwich have arrested a 27-year-old man from Ohio who attempted to register and enroll in high school there. Police say Jaira Alexander seems suspicious, according to school officials. No students were injured. The man was also wanted in Ohio on robbery charges and for allegedly impersonating an officer. Police in Rome are investigating an incident in the city on Floyd Avenue at about 1:30 a.m. Tuesday. A woman driving her bicycle when a silver vehicle approached her. According to police, a male exited the vehicle, forcibly took the bike from the woman, and drove off. Anyone with information is asked to contact Rome Police or Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers at 866-730-8477 or online at mohawkvalleycrimestoppers.com. And if you've traveled to Wegmans, the grocery chain is announcing a recall of several products that have been found on its store shelves. The chain says Wegmans organic sliced pears, Wegmans food you feel good about halved pears and pear juice, and Wegmans food you feel good about canned fruit cocktail may have unsafe amounts of lead in them. All three products have a best buy date of September 1st, 2027. Anyone who purchased the items can return them for a full refund. In sports, the Mets opened up their series against the Padres with an 8-3 win from Queens. Brett Beatty, Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso, and Cedric Mullins each went deep in the victory. New York is third in the National League wild card and will continue its three-game set against San Diego tonight. The Yankees bounced back with a 10-9 victory over the Twins in Minneapolis. Trent Grisham led the way at the plate after going 2 for 4 with a 2-run homer and 3 RBIs. New York is leading the AL wild card and will wrap up its three-game series tonight against Minnesota. The fourth week of college football season starts tomorrow. Rutgers is 3-0. They'll host Iowa Friday night. Syracuse 2-1, visiting Clemson Saturday afternoon. UConn is 1-2 and hosts Ball State Saturday afternoon. Utica University is at Hobart on Saturday. Hamilton College visits Amherst also Saturday at 1 p.m. That is the latest. I'm Doug Callan for WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Still blocked, meaning not much changing. This weather pattern is going to stay pretty stagnant. Might get a front to come through with limited fanfare late week. Going to cool temperatures off quite a bit. Partial sun with clouds this morning and this afternoon. Could get into the upper 70s. Tonight in the mid-50s, North Country cooler. Thursday, sunny 80. Friday, sunshine and cooler, high only 70. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stidgick, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
It's cloudy and 56 currently at 8:10 at WIBX. Coming up, we'll speak with Oneida County DA Todd Carville on the sentence Jeremy Kirsch. And he is the one who went off his meds.
Yep.
And
had
as
a really
result,
bad day.
Yeah, as a result, a school teacher was killed. Terrible story. And I think he got 3 to 10 years. So the question has been, if that's the case, why is Caitlin Conley ended up with the sentence that she had? And we'll speak with Todd Carville on that. Also, I don't think you can say anything about the Judge Clark and the Conley case, but we'll at least ask and see. Coming up, hold tight, 8:11 at WIBX.
At Community Memorial, we have one goal: to help you get better. Like better emergency care, our ED in Hamilton now offers the lowest average wait times in the region, a comfortable waiting area, and private patient rooms. There's now better access to orthopedic care from our world-class specialists, the latest advanced robotic technology, and walk-in clinics in New Hartford, Cazenovia, and Hamilton. We now offer quicker access to breast biopsies and colonoscopies because faster is better. And better community care with in-house surgical and rehab teams in Hamilton, urgent care, and 6 regional primary care offices. Plus, get access to better diagnostics with the latest MRI and CT imaging. Better. That's our commitment throughout the entire CMH healthcare system, providing better experiences with better services to support better outcomes. Learn more at communitymemorial.org and get better at CMH in Hamilton.
Hey, if you've got ugly, cracked yellow toenails, let's be honest. You got toenail fungus. Stop grossing out your family and friends and do what so many have already done. Try Crystal Flush. You're not alone in this. Millions of Americans suffer from toe fungus. It can affect the quality of your life, and it can be dangerous. It's not going away on its own. Most drugstore products, home remedies, prescription drugs, even those expensive laser treatments, they don't get to the root cause of your fungus. Crystal Flush is different. Unlike anything you've seen or tried before, It works by deeply penetrating and disrupting the cellular structure of the fungus, flushing it out at the source. It's genius. So end your embarrassment now. Thousands are literally wiping their fungus clean and showing off their toes again at the beach, the pool, the gym, wherever. You don't need to hide your toes anymore. Imagine wearing sandals, and you'll do it if you try Crystal Flush totally risk-free. Go to crystalflush.com, CRYSTALFLUSH, crystalflush.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Before there was social media, streaming, and even color television, there was radio. Remember the golden days when you had to tune in to hear what happened to Hopalong Cassidy, or perhaps the Green Hornet? What if you could relive those days again? Hi, I'm Greg Bell, the host of When Radio Was, a show that's dedicated to the very best of radio's golden age. From classic performances by Jack Benny to tales of terror on Lights Out. It's all here on When Radio Was, starting every Sunday at 11 p.m., only on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Which classic broadcast will you hear next?
Celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Portions of the program brought to you by Sarah's Flooring Outlet, where they have top quality carpet, ceramic tile, durable LVP, waterproof laminate and vinyl, the best in floor covering. If you need the best in flooring, why wouldn't you go to the flooring store that's a flooring store? That's what they do, and it's all they do. They're the best at it, and they have the largest inventory in all of the area. There's 6 months interest-free financing that you can take advantage of, and all of their stuff is in stock. It's in Sarah's. Experience is also a big part of this. Their installers, their staff, they know flooring. Why? It's the only, in my opinion, it's the only choice. It's in Sarah's Flooring Outlet. Buy from the big store. See why people do it all the time. Route 49 Plaza River Road, Marcy, and in sarahsflooringoutlet.com. Also this morning, Brank Construction. If you're crumbling foundation, if you're seeing it just disintegrating, or even just some damage or cracks, or it just doesn't look right, you want to fix it before it goes bad, and you want to get it done before the wintertime. Call Brank. They are experts in that world of masonry, concrete, foundation work, old stone walls, old block walls. They'll get it fixed for you, and that'll save you a ton of money if you repair it as opposed to waiting for it to get to the point of no return. Also, basement windows. They have great options for you, and their install will last a lifetime. It's Brank Construction. 315-894-3481 is the number. All right, a couple of interesting cases out there here locally. DA Todd Carville on the line right now. Good morning, Todd. Good morning, District Attorney.
Bill.
We appreciate you coming on.
Of course. Good morning, Jeff and Beth.
Good morning.
So I had said, and Davey is telling me this as well, you'll probably not be able to make any comments on the Judge Clark and the recusal case. I'm assuming that is the case.
That is correct. We're reviewing the decision and reviewing our legal options with respect to that case.
Okay. But you do have a lot of people asking about the Jeremy Kirsch case. Obviously, there was a mental health issue here, and 3 to 10 years, and people are comparing the cases. Can you talk about that sentence and your thoughts?
Sure. Jeremy Kirsch was indicted on a murder in the second degree. But the way the system works is psychiatric evaluations can't be done until after that indictment. So defense then requested of the court to have their client evaluated by a psychiatrist. Once that's done and there's their conclusion that he did suffer from a mental disease or defect, we then have the opportunity to have an expert on our side evaluate the defendant, and that's what happened in this case. Unfortunately, both experts came to the same conclusion that he did in fact suffer from a mental disease or defect. So what that does is that's a defense to complete defense to the charge of murder in the second degree. Sometimes, there's some evidence that allows for us to say, okay, well, that's what the experts say, but there's indications of this, this, and that. We did not have that evidence in this case, so that the likelihood of success on a murder in the second just wasn't there.
Yeah.
So then luckily in this case, we were able to argue that the defendant was reckless and that he was familiar with his diagnosis prior to the incident. And there was steps he took and things we thought he should have done to prevent from slipping what we believe was a dormant psychosis that became an active psychosis based on some of the things he did. Mm-hmm. And so we argued that he was reckless in that conduct and that a manslaughter in the second degree charge would fit in this situation. And so the sentencing with respect to a manslaughter in the second degree is in the range of what his sentence was. It doesn't go much higher than that, as opposed to the manslaughter in the first degree, which could be up to 25 years. So the statutory requirements and limitations of manslaughter in the second degree are why the sentence is what it is.
Okay. Oh, hold on, Jeff. I didn't realize I didn't have your mic on.
Yes, good morning, Todd. I have a comment here that came in. It said, please ask the DA if it's true that the Sheriff's Department dropped the ball on the principal's murder, did they really not read him his Miranda rights? Can you talk about that at all? And did that have anything to do with, I know you just answered the question. I was just wondering if that had anything to do with how you handled the case, if that is true.
So, no case is perfect, and, we overcome issues in cases and we make arguments in cases. With respect to the voluntariness of a statement, that goes to a hearing. This disposition was reached just before that hearing, and so the judge did not rule on whether or not the defendant's statement would be voluntary or not. With that being said, regardless of that, if we had the ability to move forward on any other basis for the murder in the second degree charge, we would have moved forward. We don't allow one setback to determine whether or not we seek justice in the case. Obviously, it hampers us, but if we can prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt still with other avenues, we will explore those avenues. In this instance, regardless of the evidence that was available to us at the time, the psychiatric evaluations really are what ruled the day with respect to what position we could take on a plea.
Was there an issue with Miranda rights?
There was an issue that would have had to been litigated.
Oh, okay. What is the rule on? Because I see this all the time, where you see videos online. It's like, you didn't read me my Miranda. You have to read me my Miranda rights. And the cops are like, yeah, and they just walk them in and put them in the car and they drive off. Is there a period of time that the police have if they're going to make an arrest?
Yeah, well, so it depends on the situation. So if the defendant is in custody and is then being asked questions by the police that are interrogation questions in nature, then the rights have to have been read prior to any questions that would give rise to answers in response to the charges for which they're being considered. So again, it's a two-part test. One, were they in custody? And two, are you asking them questions? You can ask them their name. That's not. But if you get into the substance of the case, then you need to read Miranda.
Okay.
And did the circumstances? Do you know that if the circumstances surrounding this particular case, I believe when he was apprehended, there was a report of a man running naked in downtown Rome. Did that play a role in how they handled his initial being taken into custody?
I can't speak for them, but I would assume that was part of it. And again, the evidence that led both before and after this incident are what really, kind of made the decision for us, is that we had video of the individual both before the incident and after the incident that really jived with the psychiatrist's conclusions that he was in fact suffering from a mental disease or defect.
So what you're saying is that while there was an issue, it would not have changed the outcome of the case.
Correct.
With the Miranda rights. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. Anything else? Anybody? End of the day, listen, there are technicalities. People get off on a technicality because their rights were violated. Their constitutional rights were violated. I'm assuming that angers any DA's office or any prosecutor. It angers when something like this happens. However, it's those technicalities that protect all of us when it comes to constitutional rights. Just my opinion.
Sure. In this case, it's extremely unfortunate because the sentence doesn't seem appropriate for the actions that were committed by Kirch. But the fact is the law allows for this disposition and only allows for this type of disposition based on what can be proven. Because of that, and the family wanted the defendant to be held criminally responsible. If he was found not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect, there would be no conviction, no real responsibility. We're seeking to have legislative change with respect to that. Spoke to Senator Griffo's office and Legislator Buttigieg about trying to put some legislation forward, because at this moment, if somebody is found not guilty by reason of disease or defect, there is no amount of time for which the individual has to. There's no minimum amount of time they have to be placed in a mental facility. It's until they are capable of living with the disease or defect without being a danger to the community. And it's up to a Supreme Court's decision after the experts come before them at that point. So we're looking to at least put some limitations on how much time, especially in an incident like this, that somebody could be held.
Yeah, it was a horrible, horrible case. District Attorney Todd Carville. Thank you. I almost put a Scott in there. My apologies.
That's okay.
Todd, thank you. Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Okay.
All right.
Take care, guys.
Have a good day.
Later.
Bye-bye. So there you go. It is interesting because I didn't realize, because there are times that the Miranda rights are not read. So if they're going to question you, at some point you'd have to be read your Miranda rights, I would assume. Right. But I remember in Atlanta when I was like in my 20s, me and Brad Davies were put into a police car in Cobb County, Georgia, after a Bills Super Bowl loss, one of the four. And they put us in Cobb County Jail for the night. No one ever read me my Miranda rights. I'm just saying. But they also never questioned us. So, and that is part of the play. Apparently, that's part of it. And by the way, when it was all said and done, the judge, which I didn't get to see, apparently I was not in the right frame of mind. They said I was too angry.
I thought you were going to say the table was too high.
It might be it. Maybe that's. I couldn't see the judge. He was way up there. Nonetheless, the judge said, "I believe you boys have been the subject of a bit of a Yankee hate crime here down here in beautiful Georgia," and dismissed all the charges. But that didn't help. I missed work. I missed my flight.
What were you alleged to have done?
So we were taking a cab to the hotel, and this was like 10 o'clock at night after the Super Bowl. And, everybody's partaking and drinking a little bit. And there was a glass of can you imagine, vodka. And it was just ice left in the glass. And the glass fell, and there was just ice that was on the floor, and I just picked it up, and the cab driver got out, and he's like, "You owe me $40. You got to pay $40 for that." Like $40, it's ice. There's nothing in it, but even if it was vodka, you're going to be fine. $40 you owe. So we're like, well, we're not paying it. And he said, so I'm like, listen, this guy and Brad were really getting into it. And I'm like, I don't want to see anything bad happen. So I went in and said to the hotel front desk, could you call the police? This cab driver is being really unreasonable. And the police came. And when I went to say, so this is what... That's all I got to say is I was slammed up against the car and handcuffed. Brad was handcuffed, and we were both taken to Cobb, the legendary Cobb County Jail. And this was shortly after Rodney King. And I do remember maybe a few times saying some things to the police officers and comparing them to what happened to Yeah. Well, I was young. I regret it today.
I wish there was video of it. I'd love to see this.
So glad there isn't. But no Miranda rights read there. But we were let go the next day. By the way, interestingly, money stolen.
Get out.
By the people at the jail. Because when you go into the jail, you got to empty your pockets. So it goes into a little container.
Your little personal effects
when we
bag.
came out, all of our money was gone.
Wow.
See, that what I thought would have been the Yankee hate.
That was all part of it.
Yeah.
And I'll also tell you that both of us had Discover cards, which back in the 90s, they didn't accept in Georgia. So it was an interesting run that we had.
You know, I'll tell you something funny on a story I heard. I believe it was from Georgia, and it involved a judge, and I don't want to get into the whole detail of it because I might confuse some facts. But something that's not in dispute is that in some like probate court settings, when there is a court fee, when you are you have to appear for something, and they'll say, you know, even for a traffic ticket, they'll say your fine's $115, your court fee's $45, something along those lines. The judges in some states in the South are allowed to keep that money. It doesn't go, you know, so it's like you appeared, and $115 basically goes to the village or the town or whatever, and then $40 that court fee,
like his finder's fee.
Yeah, is paid directly to the collected by. Well, I shouldn't say paid directly to the judge.
Maybe that's
because
like a tip to the judge or the court or whatever.
In the story when they were given this example, and again, I don't want to get into the full details because I'll confuse them. But someone, as the example said, well, her predecessor, this person's predecessor, had done a 50-50 split. So if it was like $50. He would keep 25, and 25 would go to the village. Apparently, they have discretion on how they do that.
That's legal.
And it stunned me. That shocks me.
You know, in some states, when you're...
I was just wondering if that's maybe the judge picked up your money.
Well, but they would...
This is my court fee.
Those were our personal belongings, and they just took them from us.
Was making a joke. Yeah, that's certainly not appropriate.
Mike is texting in here this morning saying, don't you wish you paid the $40? Yes, I do. We just should have paid it.
Just stop talking, pay the bill, and go home.
The other part of this was, I mean, that was back when I thought, these are my rights. I have the right to, you know, A, B, and C, and you can't do this to me. And, you know, oh, yes, we can. So I think you learn very quickly to play it differently. Use a different strategy.
Oh, man, I wish YouTube was around back then.
Oh, Lord.
Enjoyable.
And then do you know there are some states where if you're driving down the road and you get a, you know, speeding ticket and they pull you over and they give you a ticket, you either are required to or have the option pay it right on the spot.
Yeah.
Pull out your credit card and they'll swipe your card.
Yeah.
And then and the advantage of that is you just plead guilty, you pay it, and you don't have to come back.
Yeah, and it's done.
That's
and
part of the key.
You can, when you pull off, you can start speeding right again.
That's right. I'm right back to 95. There we go.
Challenge accepted.
95 on 95. All right, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. It is time now for the segment that I love. As long as we had the DA on, talking a little, jail time in Cobb County, Georgia. Ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the Rosenthal Report. Apparently, I was looking for a... There it is. There it is. Ow.
Ow.
Yeah, that was way too much. Way too much. Here he is. We're just talking about Attorney Jeremy Rosenthal through Fox News. He is the attorney in Texas. And we were just talking about Miranda rights and how it doesn't mean they have to immediately be read to you when handcuffs go on. So we're told.
Handcuffs is a pretty big indicator. So there are.
Okay.
So let's do it this way. So there are different levels of interactions with law enforcement.
Yes.
The first is called a voluntary encounter, which is, hey, buddy, you got a match. And here's a match. And by the way, I'm going to confess to all the heroin I've been trafficking, right?
Yep.
There's no legal protection there. Your right is to walk away.
Right.
If it is a detention, a temporary detention, that's a traffic ticket. That's you get pulled over. You don't have right to counsel. It's temporary in nature. You cannot go, but you don't have to be read Miranda.
Yeah.
Miranda is for custodial interrogation. And so when your liberty is restrained to the degree of custody, that's a pretty good indication that Miranda ought to be read. It's a good practice. So if you're in cuffs and you're in the back of the car, you kind of got a Miranda.
I see.
If you're gonna question, I think you're really playing with fire. If you don't, but then again, Miranda is also for questioning. So if you're not questioning the suspect and the suspect just wants to tell you about whatever.
Yeah,
oh, by the way, there's a bunch of dead bodies in my basement.
Right.
That's that smell that you have. And the officer's like, well, I didn't ask you, but okay, great. In that instance, Miranda is not going to do that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. You asked that.
Fair enough. I bring this up because there might have been a time after a Super Bowl in the 90s that I found myself in Cobb County Jail, which is, when you're a New Yorker, the last place you want to be, where Miranda rights just weren't read. But we were let go and charges were dropped. So craziness. Okay, topic one. We take three topics each week, and Jeremy runs through them. This one's been in the news. U.S. Appeals Court rejects Trump's bid to oust the Fed's Lisa Cook. What are your thoughts on this? And my general feeling is it's just going to go to another court. Maybe it's the Supreme Court. What do you think?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I know it's going to the Supreme Court. When you are appointed on the Federal Reserve, it's a great gig, by the way, and the dental's great, and it's a 14-year term.
Yeah.
Okay. The only thing that can't happen to you is that you cannot be fired for cause by the president. So keep that guy happy and don't do anything for cause, and your gig is as good as gold, right? So Trump fires Lisa Cook, says that he's firing her for cause. They disagree on it, right? Trump says you signed a couple of affidavits for a mortgage. You listed multiple places as your primary address. That's cause. And he may be right. He may be right. Her point is a couple things. First off, she's like, yeah, no, I didn't do that. One of these was a vacation home and I listed it. And the second one wasn't. And the second is, look, you can't just hit me out of this with the blue. I get to speak my piece here. And so the Second Court of Appeals, the D.C. Court of Appeals, sided with her, but it's going to go to the Supreme Court.
Yeah. Do you wouldn't she have to be tried and convicted, or can it just be an accusation?
Well, it's for cause, so it doesn't have to be a conviction of any type because you don't have a right to be on the Federal Reserve. You're held to a higher standard.
Got it.
But you do get a little bit. That's what the court said is you get a little bit of due process here. You do get to the president just can't say, well, this is cause and that's cause. And I think it's from The Office where Michael Scott said, I'm firing you for cause and the cause is I hate you.
Right.
So it can't. That's not going to work. So that's kind of the tussle that we're in.
Okay. My guess is that will be predictable. Topic two: former federal prosecutor Maureen Comey suing the Trump administration, over her firing. Of course, she has the now famous dad. What are your thoughts on this one?
Okay, so the question here is, can the president of the United States walk out into the Rose Garden and fire the gardener, right, who's a federal employee?
Yeah.
And he can do it to the Secretary of State, I think. He can try to do it to somebody on the Federal Reserve, but can he go out and do that to the rank and file, right? Can he just go and the receptionist at the IRS building, can he say, too slow, you're out of here? Can he do that? The answer is not necessarily, because when you're not appointed by Congress, when you're a lower level employee, how much does the administration, how much do they have over you, and how much due process do you get? There's a statute, the Civil Servants Act, says that you get about 30 days to make your case. Maureen Comey is look, she's no Jeremy Rosenthal. Let's
That's
be clear.
Right.
Okay,
that is because you wouldn't be in this problem in the first place.
Oh no! She wouldn't be talking to people in Utica, right?
That's
she
right.
wouldn't have this segment.
That is right.
She's a Harvard grad. She was on the law review there. She prosecuted P. Diddy. She prosecuted Ghislaine Maxwell. She prosecuted Senator Mendez. She's got a pretty impressive resume, and all of her reviews were really good. And then one day you're fired, and she's saying, "Look, this is because of my dad." And by the way, you got to give me a little bit of due process. Kind of the same issue with Lisa Cook. You can't do it because you want to do it. So that's where this thing is. And it'll be an interesting fight, because a lot of the federal employees that have been getting let go, a lot of the folks that got removed with Doge, a lot of their cases are sort of stuck in this purgatory of bureaucracy. She actually went to federal court and said, "Yeah, no, I'm going to sue you here." So that'll be a pretty interesting fight, I think.
I agree, and not that I know anything to agree or disagree. Topic 3: Jimmy Kimmel defeats George Santos' appeal over videos.
I love this one.
Yeah.
I think the argument that Santos made is so absurd.
Yes.
But go ahead, explain this.
Man, I think so good. It's an American tradition to kick people when they're down, right? Can we agree that that's what we're supposed to do?
Yes, unfortunately.
So George Santos is, look, poor guy's about to go to, he's in prison now, but at the time he was like, the storm clouds were coming, and so he's on Cameo. You have a Cameo account, right, Bill?
I did not. We covered the story and played his Cameo. I thought he just went on Cameo on his own. Are you saying he was coerced?
No.
George Santos, he was coerced by the, well, he was, so Santos gets like 60 or 70 or $80 a pop for wishing people happy birthday, right? Because he needs the money.
See. Right.
Okay. But what happens here is that Santos, Kimmel is just like, so he wants to see if he can bait Santos in saying these ridiculous things. It's
right.
You know, hey, Brenda, congratulations on cloning your schnauzer Adolf. Give him a belly rub for me.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
That's
so
awesome.
he's doing that.
Typical morning radio
People actually
stuff.
pay for that.
Yeah. Well, I pay for this, yeah.
He takes the bait, and he does like 14 of them. And he said, and actually through Cameo, they're copyrighted. They are. Because you can't like rebroadcast and republish and all that stuff.
Right.
But that's assuming like this is your kid's 8th birthday party. And the court came back and said, no, look, when you're a public figure and you go out and seek this kind of attention, when you get kicked in the teeth real hard, that's the First Amendment.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, he sued for $150,000 times 14 copyright infringements.
Wow.
That's a lot of jack for the commissary. Like he could have used he could really use the money. And does Disney and ABC, do they really need the money?
Well, I know they just paid all that money to Trump, so maybe they're like, you just don't. Listen, I give Kimmel credit. That's an old-time radio bit right there. You lure him in to say something stupid and then play it until it's not funny anymore. So, wow. All right. Well, there we go. Your insight is amazing, as always, ladies and gentlemen. The Rosenthal Report. Jeremy, have a great rest of the week.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks so much. Jeremy Rosenthal with Fox News Radio. Coming up, we'll speak with Ryan Nobles in a second. Do you want to add to that whole thing?
No.
Now I understand what they did.
Yeah. So they paid him whatever 60 or 80 bucks he was charging and said, say this. They didn't say we're from the Jimmy Kimmel Show.
Right.
And then when he did it, they used those videos on the Kimmel Show.
Yeah. I'm all in on that. I love it.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm
Me
sorry.
too.
And by the way, he lied like nobody, and now he's asking for us to have sympathy, and ultimately he is a public figure. So it's pretty tough to.
Well, see, that's what. It's funny. I know Jeremy was out of time.
Kind of fair game. You're kind of fair game as a public figure.
He referenced the fact that he is a public figure, but I would wonder if Jeremy's opinion would change on that, or if the court's opinion would change if he wasn't a public figure. Because the thing I'm getting at
is yes.
Well, with Cameo though, the whole idea is you pay a public figure nobody wants. No offense, Uncle Smitty. Nobody's going to say, I'm in Florida and I'm looking for a guy named Uncle Smitty to come on and wish my daughter a happy birthday.
You're saying so the minute you are a Cameo person,
aren't you a public figure?
You're a public figure.
Because it's a celebrity-driven industry, right? Nobody's saying I want random Joe Blow from someplace to wish my wife a happy anniversary.
Actually, that would be the funniest gift, though. If
right?
you found some random Nimrod from somewhere.
Rainbow. I want Rainbow. I want Rainbow to do my anniversary.
But see, even by that nature right
you
there.
A happy birthday.
Rainbow, to some extent, is a
public figure. People
and
know
you'd
him.
be like to your wife, it's Bob.
Yeah.
She's like, well, who's Bob? I thought you loved Bob.
He's the blackjack dealer from Vegas who took our money last summer.
That would be funny. I'm doing that in August of next year for my wife. All right, a couple of quickies. The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills wants to thank all of their patients and their new patients as well. They've had a huge influx of new patients, and they're currently looking for a new provider. As a result of the increase that they have had, they've put a pause on accepting new patients right now, but they expect that to change sometime in the near future. Once they hire a new provider, which Dr. Zielinski says he hopes will be sooner rather than later, they'll be making an announcement here on WIBX that they once again will be accepting new patients. None of this affects anyone who's a current patient of the Falcon Clinic. It's the area's premier osteopathic clinic. It is the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. And one more, River Hills Properties. We talk about how it's all about the service. If you're looking to sell your home, it is one of the most intense transactions you're probably going to have in your lifetime. Maybe you'll have a few of them a few times, but it's a biggie. And knowing that you have a River Hills agent that is all about service from start to finish can really be a game changer. They can take that heat and that stress away from you when you're selling your home and advise you in a way to assist you in making sure you put your best foot forward, if you will. It's River Hills Properties with offices in Barneville, Little Falls, to the north in Copenhagen, Utica, coming soon to Rome, and now in Newport and the amazing Gulf Coast of Florida in beautiful Sarasota. Nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties. Ryan Nobles is up next on WIBX.
There's no place like home with Amerique Credit Union. For 75 years, Amerique has helped your friends and neighbors step into the homes of their dreams. Let us help you find yours. Apply today at amerique.org/home. Equal housing lender.
This is Dr. Robert Fleischer, urologist with Upstate Urology at Mohawk Valley Health System. Prostate cancer is the most common cancer and second leading cause of cancer death in American men. Early detection is critically important in managing this cancer and improving survival. I strongly encourage all men aged 45 to 75 to get screened, and you can do so at one of our free prostate cancer screenings. For more information or to register for this free screening, please call 315-624-4600. 315-624-4600.
¿Sabías que el cáncer de próstata es el cáncer más común y la segunda causa principal de muerte por cáncer en los hombres estadounidenses? Se recomienda encarecidamente que todos los hombres de entre 45 y 75 años de edad se hagan la prueba de detección. Puedes hacerlo en uno de nuestros exámenes de detección de cáncer de próstata gratuitos. Para obtener más información o registrarse, visite mvhealthsystem.org/urology o llame al 315-624-4600.
Now that we're getting older, we've been putting more thought into maintaining our health.
We knew the water we drink every day could be filled with contaminants, so
We called Leaf Home Water Solutions.
they came to our home and did a free water test and gave us the analysis right away.
We were shocked at what we saw.
They found heavy metals like iron and copper.
Our own tap water was putting our health at risk, but Leaf Home Water Solutions made it easy to get safer water from every tap and hose. A whole home solution.
They have more than 250 product combinations and designed a system that fits our needs and budget. The installation took less than a day.
With Leaf Home Water Solutions, our water is safer and healthier. When we drink, when we cook, when we shower, even when we garden.
We feel better about our health.
Thanks to Leaf Home Water Solutions.
Schedule your free home water test today at leafhome.com/free and save 15% on all home water treatment systems. That's leafhome.com/free for your free home water test and 15% off. leafhome.com/free.
Hi, I'm Phil DiGiorgio. Planning for the future isn't always easy, but protecting what you've worked so hard for is important. The DiGiorgio Law Firm invites you to a free estate planning and asset protection workshop to be held on September 18th, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. at the DiGiorgio Law Firm offices at 258 Genesee Street, Utica, New York. Seats are limited, so call 315-732-3155 to reserve your spot. At this free workshop, you'll learn how to use trusts to preserve your home and assets from the high costs of long-term care, how to safeguard inheritances for loved ones receiving public benefits, and discover techniques to help you access Medicaid benefits for home care or nursing home costs without spending your assets down to zero. Take control of your legacy. You can't take it with you, but you can decide where it goes. Call the DiGiorgio Law Firm today at 315-732-3155 to RSVP for the workshop or to schedule your own consultation. Again, that's 315-732-3155. The DiGiorgio Law Firm. Start protecting your hard-earned assets now.
Together, we can do more. On September 19th, our community will hold Mohawk Valley Gives, an online day of giving to benefit area nonprofits. Your Mohawk Valley Gives donation will help hundreds of nonprofit organizations meet our community's greatest needs, and every dollar counts. Join us on September 19th at givemv.org, and let's show everybody that Mohawk Valley gives. Powered by the Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida Counties and Up Mobility Foundation. MV Gives is proudly sponsored by Staffworks and M&T Bank.
Celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
One of the things I want to remind you is when you're giving, it is the week of giving. Mohawk Valley Gives. The website, though, is not MV Gives. It's givemv.org. And when you go there, please search for REAL, R-E-A-L, Real Men Get Tested, or just REAL. Once you put REAL in, Real Men Gets Tested pops up, and you can give to our charity, me and Tim Reed, and it really just gets the message out. No administrative fees, just gets the message out. It's so important for guys, especially, because they tend to procrastinate to get tested for cancer, and both me and Tim know firsthand about that, and so many others. So if you're going to give, maybe take a little piece of what you're giving and give it to Real Men Get Tested. Go to givemv.org is the website. On the line right now, Ryan Nobles from NBC. Ryan, good morning.
Hey, Bill, I just want to update you that I was stuck in an elevator at the Capitol here for about 5 minutes, but I'm okay. You don't need to worry about me. Everything, we're on the outside of this trauma, but I just feel like I needed to share that with you.
Yeah, you just actually, I'm beginning to have sweat beads for him because you've given me a flashback to the time I was stuck in Jim Brock's elevator many years ago. Yeah. Well, I'm glad it was only
scary on many levels. But yeah, right. Yes.
Was there anybody in there with you for that 5 minutes?
Yes, my producer Brendan Leach was. We were both in the elevator together. We had even had to call the emergency line and everything, but a member of the architect of the Capitol staff came to rescue us pretty quickly. So
we were in.
Okay, everything's fine.
We were in with someone who was quite odoriferous on a really hot, on a very hot summer day. Yeah, I'll never forget it.
Flashbacks with Bill Keeler.
Well, I'll never forget that smell. I'll tell you that. That's for darn sure. So, okay, you were there yesterday, right? Where?
At the hearing?
Yes.
The Patel hearing?
Yeah.
Yes, I was. I was in the room for almost all of it. Yes, I was. Yep.
We've seen heated, but tell me I'm wrong. I don't know that I've ever seen heated like we saw heated yesterday.
Well, I have to say the Robert F. Kennedy Jr. hearing a week ago was also pretty heated, and I think a different kind of heated because he was taking a lot of incoming from Republicans. But yeah, I think that the Democrats on the panel definitely were trying to make a point yesterday. And I think the biggest difference that we're seeing in a lot of these congressional hearings from these Trump cabinet appointees is that during their confirmation process, they were relatively tame. They were deferential to the senators on the panel, both Republican and Democrat. Now that they've been confirmed and basically the only person that can remove them from their jobs is Donald Trump, they're way more combative. They're much more willing to go after and attack the senators that are giving them tough questions, return fire, if you will. I mean, at one point, Kash Patel called Adam Schiff a buffoon, which, I don't know if I've ever heard anything like that tossed back and forth in a Senate panel like that. So, there definitely is a sense from these cabinet officials that they're performing for an audience of one, and Donald Trump likes fighters, and that's what I think you saw on display there from Kash Patel. What you didn't really see was an explanation about some of these really important things that senators wanted answers to. There was a lot of kind of obfuscating the early stages of the investigation into the Kirk assassination. He doubled down that he made the right decision by, tweeting out that they had a suspect in custody when that person ended up being released, and they were still hours away from arresting the eventual alleged killer. And then he also, I think, dodged quite a bit on the Epstein controversy. And I don't know if it got enough attention yesterday because there's so much focus, rightly so, on the Kirk assassination. But he basically said that the Department of Justice and the FBI don't really have any more information, and that people need to stop focusing in on it too much. That the investigation was very limited in scope, and there isn't much more that they can release, even though House Republicans in particular are still clamoring for more information.
Well, that was when it got really heated, too. He's like, Obama didn't do anything about this. Obama did squat, I think was his quote.
That's exactly what he said. Yep.
So it got incredibly heated. But the problem you have in that case, without belaboring this, is that he and the administration were the ones that kept promising during the campaign, especially, that there's going to be so much information released. And they've been hiding it, and then all of a sudden, there is none.
Kash Patel was one of the leading members of the chorus of online conservative provocateurs who said that if the files are not all released, that means they're hiding someone, that they're protecting someone. And now here he is in the position to release the files as he demanded of prior administrations, and he's telling us there's nothing to see here. I mean, that's just an objective fact. So,
the only thing I would say to this is, and this would be on both sides because it was heated on both sides. I'm a both sides person today, and I get criticized for that, it seems. But I just will say that, and sadly I'm short on time because we could talk all about a lot of stuff right now. But man, if we can just pull it back a little bit, whether it be talking about Charlie Kirk or arguing in a congressional hearing or the president saying to an ABC reporter, maybe we'll come after you for hate speech because that's all you guys do at ABC News. I mean, we gotta step it back a little.
So I don't want to fuel the flames here, Bill. So I'm gonna point you back to an interview that I did last week. I think it was 24 hours after the Kirk assassination, where the mood here on Capitol Hill was just raw. I mean, people were in a daze, I think, both Republicans and Democrats. And I talked to Kevin Kramer, who's a Republican from North Dakota. He's a very thoughtful guy. He's been through a lot of personal tragedy on his own. And you can find this. I posted it on my social media channels. And he was so honest and raw in his response. And he said, I cannot tell you about anyone else. He said, but the thing that makes me, the way I'm reacting to the assassination of Charlie Kirk and the rise of political violence in this country is I'm taking a step back and looking in the mirror. And I'm reflecting on what I can do personally to change the conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm not worried about anybody else right now, because the only way that we're going to fix this problem and the only way we're going to make political discourse responsible and productive again is if for each individual person to take a step back and stop looking to point the finger at someone else and say to themselves, how can I fix this? And Kevin Cramer is not the kind of guy who you'd think would need to step back and look in the mirror, because he is a very thoughtful and honest person. But the fact that someone like that thought the answer and the solution here was to look in the mirror, I thought was pretty instructive of how the only way that we're going to fix this problem. And it's not yelling at each other online or accusing other people of doing this. It's each and every one of us stepping back and saying, how can we be better?
And I want to say a peaceful, very peaceful Bill Morehouse responding here this morning saying, a both sides guy today. I know what you and Ryan are every other day. It's interesting that you're both sides today. So Bill has decided not to go down the peace road. Boy, that's all right, Ryan. You come on, you say what you say, although there was nothing really crazy today, but you say what you say, and I get to take all the phone calls. So,
Bill, I get plenty of heat from your listeners on my social media channels.
Is that right?
In particular, who we all used to be very good friends with, who has to come on every single day and be a tough keyboard warrior and let me know what he thinks about things. So,
is that right?
Bill, well, they find his social media. There's no doubt.
I'm going to start. I have to go read some of this.
That's
now.
why
I want to know who this is.
Post anything you want on my social media. I never read it.
Yeah.
I think it was to say that I do read it because it doesn't really impact me all that much. But
sure.
Yes,
all right, Ryan.
Note.
Go Mets. I still believe. Go Bills. Have a great rest of the week.
All right, guys. Good talking to you.
Thanks so much.
Later.
Portion of the program brought to you by the Good Feet Store. You want the pain to go away? There are plenty of people out there that are saying this program works, and you can do a free test. They'll do a walking test and fit you in to their 3-step system. Just walk in, no appointment needed. 4630 Commercial Drive in New Hartford. The Good Feet Store. If you're looking for the pain to go away, it may be. The pain may be caused by the way you're walking. All right, we got to go. Thank you, Beth, as always.
Of course.
Busy day today. Back tomorrow.
From the Stanley Theater Studios, WIBX Utica, Rome. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, celebrating 100 years.
He went from a helicopter to a horse-drawn carriage. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's how President Trump arrived at Windsor Castle, greeted by King Charles. He's the first world leader to get a second British state visit.
The King and Queen will host a private luncheon, and then they'll lay a wreath at the tomb of Queen Elizabeth, who President Trump very much admired. Tonight, there's a lavish white-tie state dinner in St. George's Hall, where both President Trump and King Charles will each make a speech.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich in Windsor. Tomorrow, the president will talk trade with Britain's prime minister. Friday, the president plans to talk to Chinese leader Xi Jinping, trying to finalize a TikTok deal after the social media app got another extension to avoid a ban in the U.S. unless TikTok cuts ties to its Chinese parent company. Sunday, the president will be in Arizona, along with Vice President Vance,
to speak at Charlie Kirk's memorial service. Kirk was a passionate supporter of the president, helping to mobilize young conservative voters on college campuses. And the vice president even filled in on Kirk's talk radio show earlier this week.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz, the suspected Kirk assassin, made his first court appearance via video, facing an aggravated murder charge that could lead to the death penalty. At a news conference, Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray detailed text messages between Tyler Robinson and his roommate.
Robinson, why did I do it? Roommate, yeah. Robinson, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence.
FBI Director Kash Patel told a Senate hearing they're investigating others Robinson talked to in a chat group.
We're running them all down.
It's a lot more than 20?
Yes, sir.
And you're running all of that to ground?
Every single one.
Yeah, fantastic.
That's Republican Senator Josh Hawley. Patel clashed with some Democrats who accuse him of being a Trump loyalist, damaging the FBI. Patel will testify at a House hearing next hour, and the FBI is searching for a man who drove into a metal gate outside an FBI office in Pittsburgh early this morning and then ran off. The FBI is calling it an act of terror. America's listening to Fox News.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Lucky Larry's Landscaping, Larry! Larry saved his business money with a quick commercial auto quote from Progressive. Does it help he's his own marketing manager, accountant, executive assistant, and never been late? Technically, yes, but saving really put him over the edge. So, Larry, give Larry a round of applause. Be your own Larry. See if you could save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion? That's billion with a B? Yeah. Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
Here's the latest from the WIBX newsroom. I'm Doug Callum. New York State police say a 38-year-old Westernville man was shot Monday night after threatening another man and his family during a fight in Oneida County. According to troopers, around 7:40 p.m., they responded to a report of a domestic dispute with shots fired on Main Street, and the 38-year-old man went into the home of the 48-year-old man, where an altercation broke out, according to troopers. During the fight, the victim threatened the man and his family. The 43-year-old then fired multiple rounds from a gunshot from a shotgun loaded with birdshot. The victim was taken to Wynn Hospital in Utica for non-life-threatening injuries. No names released. If you have information on the incident, police ask you to contact them or Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers. Police investigated an altercation from Friday on Oneida Square and ultimately have arrested 5 local